Ladies and gentlemen of the internet on this fine Tuesday, what's fine about it? I'm not really sure, other than the fact that we are here playing Night's Black Agents. And I'm going to turn it over to Byron, our director and our savior from the bad vampires. Byron, what the hell, man? Let's do it.
How you doing? Welcome, guys, and thanks for tuning in to this episode of Night's Black Agents. And today, I think we're going to be going to the Greek Isles, and the team is going to be following up on some leads of Mr. Sigmund Walter, another person from the security station list on the HMS Prosper Pine. And so we'll be doing some of that. So gonna go around the horn here real quick. So Tyler, how you doing today?
Doing good. Excited to play. Ready to find a Nazi on a Yahtzee.
You had to say it.
I had to.
It had to.
Yeah.
Nice staking of claim.
Yeah. Like,
I came up with it yesterday. I had to claim it while I could before he took full credit for it.
I never took credit for it. Never took credit for it. So, Mr. Dan Kaplan.
Hey, it's Nazi on Yahtzee. It's like a Fritz on a. Never mind. I read. I'll stop. So for my week, has basically been nothing. I'm in a work coma. It's like we stopped playing last week or 2 weeks ago, and now suddenly I find myself back here again, as if no time had passed in the meantime. Just work coma. That's it for me.
I understand the work coma thing, man. It seems like my week just like rotates. It's just like, go to work, come home, go to work, come home.
It's kind of like that sensation of, wait, it's Friday again? What? Huh?
And no. That's definitely the way I feel when it comes to like preparing for games. Like, really? I have to prepare again for another?
My wife and I share this luckily together. So every Friday we're like, what? I thought it was Tuesday. Really? It's Friday?
Yeah. Your wife's not a gamer though, is she?
No, she is not a gamer. That is true.
This could change.
I have had it with your shenanigans.
No, to be honest, she's quite lovely about me playing in a bunch of games over the course of a week. So I have to give her credit there. She's she's a real trooper.
I have to butter mine up a lot. Make her dinner. Like it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Can't wait for her to see this or hear this.
Oh, she'll never. She'll never ever watch it.
I'll send her a clip and
send her just this part,
just this moment.
Facebook message, just this clip. So, Brent, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I've been on a lot of Zoom group meetings lately because I now run group therapy online with like 9 people and over Zoom, so it's pretty cool. Like, so I'm starting to be like, okay, this just feels really normal. All of us being online at the same time.
I was going to say, how's
you
that?
Have to put
how's
like
that
the
different?
monitors in a chair circle.
Exactly. So it's I'm doing really well. I feel like we're really getting to the nitty gritty of how this mystery is coming together. In fact, I feel like I'm even more confused than I've ever been.
Those two statements together don't make any sense. Like, I think we're getting to the nitty gritty, but I have no idea what's going on. I'm more confused than I ever have been.
I mean, all I see is that the board behind Dr. Terry Mitchell just gets more and more complicated every time we play.
It does keep getting added to it. At some point, we're going to have to get another update on what's on the board.
Yeah,
that is true.
At least of the new additions, because I have been slacking horribly at giving her any material, so I can only imagine.
I'd love to see what she put up there.
I'd love to see what she actually put up there. If she could send it to me ahead of time so I can have it for game.
Yeah. That'd be good. You should take a picture of it, though, and let me superimpose that on one of the edits.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Tara, how you doing?
I'll get a picture for you. I'm doing great. It's another Tuesday. I can't believe it's been 2 weeks either since last we gathered. Time seems to be flying between school and work and volunteering. I have nothing left.
Back to school again, huh?
Yeah.
I thought you were done.
No, I don't know if I'll ever be done, Byron.
I can't even I can't imagine having that much to do. I just
Me either.
I would just I would just fold up. I would just cry in a coma in a little blanket in my bed.
I might spend
I
some
had that
time
much
doing
stuff
that.
to do. It's effective, I've heard. Maybe.
It's healthy to get in touch with your feelings.
Right.
That's
That's important.
Sleep every once in a while.
Hey, do you stop being a therapist?
Yeah, I was gonna say, has it occurred to you that you might actually be working right now, and you're just helping us get through our lives?
He was supposed to do that once, but he folded.
I might make a great name for an episode, though. Coma Tears.
Coma Tears. I like it. Awesome. All right, Mr. Jason Jones. How are you doing?
I am good. I am like Dan. I'm in a work coma. I'm not going to even talk about that, other than to say that I'm glad to be employed all the time here in America. But I'm also glad to be back game. It's been too long, so we got. We've also got the Den coming up tomorrow. We've got some vampires tonight. I've got a stack of edits to do. I'm taking Friday off to get caught up on my edits. So this episode and the last one will be up. But all good things. All good things otherwise. Happy to play.
Yeah, there's so much going on the channel so often anymore that I can only imagine, because you carry, so much of that burden.
Yes, it is a labor
only some other
of
slackers
love.
would get their ass in gear.
I cannot wait to see you in a vampire costume. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't think it'll fit anymore.
I'm trying to.
I think I ate too many cheeseburgers.
Don't worry, Jason. I'm encouraging him to do it.
Excellent.
Is this the Saturday game? Is that the vampire costume?
No. I'm supposed to be getting some rules bites stuff together, and then I realized I really don't know the rules, so I can't.
We realize we don't know how to play this game.
I'm not sure where to start. I don't know where to start.
I was looking at the stability rules. I was just flipping through as I was waiting to join. And I'm counting up all the things that if you were that GM, that real strict GM, I'm like, Evan would be fucked. I would have so much less stability than I do.
Apparently I need to use them then.
No. That's what I was saying.
I enjoy Byron's rules melody, loose playing. Yep. What do you call it? It's like jazz.
Yeah.
It's
like jazz.
He's all loosey-goosey.
Yes.
I'm not lying, dude. I had a 6th edition Call of Cthulhu rulebook, and I gave it away at a con one time to a player that was a new player, and she was gonna buy one, but they were out. And I just gave her my book. I was like, "Here you go."
I'm gonna use it.
So quick 2-second story though. Well, it won't be 2 seconds because I have told stories longer than that. But anyhow, so this girl was 15-year-old girl playing in one of my games, and it was a game called Cold Case, the one that I talk about all the time. And in Cold Case, I have Roman tablets in a photograph that are prop for the game, and she was able to read the Roman tablet.
Oh hell! Really?
What?
That is amazing.
It's at 15 years old, man. This girl was reading the Roman tablet in the photograph that I had absolutely no idea what it said, and I was just praying that it actually meant something to the game, because she was following this as a lead, and I was like, hold on. Don't go down that rabbit hole. Don't go down that rabbit hole, because it's just. And so I gave her my book. So, she was an awesome player.
You're like, it just looked pretty. That's all. It just looked pretty.
It did. I never even had a thought that somebody would be able to read it. And so, that was a very exciting time. So I gave away my rule book because I never used it.
You could have pulled out you can read it, but your player is unable to read Latin, so it's content.
Well, the thing is that her character actually was able to read it.
Yeah. Double bang.
It was double bang.
And leave it to a Call of Cthulhu player, like a proper Call of Cthulhu player, to be like, wait, my character knows Latin. Mom, I need to go get a book on Latin. I have to learn this language to play this game.
Yeah, well, luckily it was a one shot, so it wasn't that bad. But
She studied that language just for that one shot too, I bet.
no doubt.
Well, I do. I like the fun first mentality.
Me too.
I'm in another game, which will remain nameless, where just this week I got an errata from the person who runs it on exactly, what you can be holding in your hands at any particular point, depending on whether it's a verbal, somatic, or material component spell in 5th edition.
Okay.
Now, mind you, you can hold things in your hands, like focuses, if it's material. But if it's just verbal and somatic or just somatic, you cannot be holding anything in your hands. Or at least you have to have one hand free. So it's like that level of detail, I respect
I'd rather
it.
die.
But yeah, it kind of, for me, it kind of like, okay, I'll remember as I do my actions every round, I holster my spell focus, then I cast mine. It's just, yeah, I love you, Byron. I love your game. I like the way you run it. Don't change ever.
Thank you.
Well,
don't
Dan,
know.
you just hold the spell focus in your left hand, and then you cast with your right hand, and then
Please.
you're good.
I have a shield, but I'm a druid.
Then you're
So-
then you're fucked.
And I'm
That's why you need to
facing
use
east
a
Then
buckler.
you gotta do the holstering thing.
Well, you gotta have a
on a
buckler.
Wednesday.
Mhm.
Buckler.
I'm like, I don't know what you guys are all afraid of playing the games right. All right, you gotta play by the rules. No, I'm just kidding.
What
Sort
are
of.
rules?
I actually play in a game where the GM is just so over the top with rules that it just like it's not story based at all. It's just really rules based because he likes that side of it, I guess. But it's terrible.
You're talking all like is it like all third person?
It's painful.
I'm gonna cut
It's
this
painful.
part out so those of you who happen to catch us on Twitch at some point.
I actually want to watch
Yeah,
it.
maybe we could do a separate video of our GM horror stories.
No, like your GM Byron that's running that game with the rules is gonna be like, you know what, motherfucker? I'll tell you what.
I mean, if he can figure out it's him, I'll give him a round of applause. We play in like 9 games, so if you can figure out who you are, good luck.
All right, so enough of our chatter and BS. Sorry, I was running late. We normally do a lot of that offline, and unfortunately, we did it online today. So that's I take complete credit.
Well,
For it.
extra snippets for all you out there.
Yeah, so you get to see that what it looks like before
Hang on, I have to share.
Jason
I have to
does all
share.
the edits.
These tomatoes says it's too late. We've seen it, and that adult man drinking a Capri Sun.
I was trying so hard not to mention Brett drinking a Capri Sun. I was trying so hard not to mention it.
You know, the nostalgia does not really work with this.
No, it doesn't.
Does it?
It's not nearly as fun as I thought it would be.
But that's how the vampires do. They just
There's
That's
like
what happened to Red Lily like 4 episodes ago.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Who knows if she's actually recovered from that yet?
And
I
then
mean,
just gave like Lily a squeeze, and they're like,
Ugh.
I feel like
No.
you shouldn't do that on camera ever again.
I will never. That was the last time. That was only once.
But I
Only
can
one time.
clip that out and put
You
some
could
slow
that,
mo with some Barry
that and
White.
send it to his girlfriend.
Yeah, with some Barry White. That'd be good.
All right, so yeah, so give me somebody give me a recap, some thoughts on why are you guys going to the Greek Isles? And don't say you're not going to the Greek Isles because you're going to the Greek Isles. I don't give a shit. One way or another, your plane's going to Greek. I don't care if I have to take jacket.
We're getting hijacked.
I've got an incredible fetish for dolmades. They're delicious, and so I'll be in the Greek restaurant while they're out at the Nazi Yahtzee or whatever it's called. Yeah, Dr. Mitchell, wasn't it one of your people, one of your contacts or something?
It was the scientist, was it not?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was some sort of a Nazi scientist.
yeah.
Yeah, the Sigmund Walter guy. Am I getting the name right?
You are actually. So the name that you actually saw on the manifest or the security station checklist on the HMS Proserpine was a Joachim Siedelman. And when you did some research between Evan pulling some files, Johnny having some memories of some MI5 files and so forth, and you determined that he was a gentleman by the name of Sigmund Walter, who was a major general. He was known as one of his other aliases was General Reinhard Gehlen, and he was a SS officer. He was part of the Ahnenerbe, and he was very active in the SF Totenkopf. Of course, you found that Totenkopf ring from the old woman in Stallard in the very beginning of all of this. So you've had some connections to Germany and to the SS programs back during World War II. This guy would have to be like in his late 80s, early 90s, to be the same person. But he was also involved in tons of things with MI5 and the CIA. He was an arms dealer. He seemed like a go-to guy for those agencies, to where they used him for different tasks or different, blocks of information and so forth, to the point where he's still actively working. He's known as being someone that kind of follows money and does what's necessary with the right support. He can, do lots of things. You tracked his last known whereabouts, a purchase of a $4 million yacht in Greece, and he has a estate in the hills of Santorini, which is off the island in the Aegean Sea. And I'm not really sure you guys had a plan on how to get there yet, but like most fine movies, you don't really see all of the background stuff. You kind of go from spot to spot almost, as the action leads. So as the camera pans into today, I see you guys all just kind of sitting at a cafe on the hills of Santorini, eating baklava and some official authentic gyros, and just kind of hanging out as you make your plan for where you're gonna go. And with that,
guys,
we'll turn that over to you guys.
It took us months to get here on those unicycles we stole.
But my legs are buff.
I mean, who thought that was a good idea?
It was your idea, Tesla.
It was your idea.
All right, but at least we're here now.
Did you make them out of like rowan wood or
if you weren't like playing that goddamn sweating to the oldies on your mobile device the entire time that we were riding, it would have been better.
I don't know, but I could kill for some
time to kick your drug habit on the way there.
Well, perhaps we could get one of those deluxe touring vans, excursion vans that are all over Santorini. I mean, if we get one of those, everyone will think we're tourists, and I'm sure we could fit all our equipment in there. If you guys are on the chat,
that's not a terrible idea. Get a like one of those touristy type vans, yeah.
Right. We could check out his estate first, and if he's not on his estate, we could go to his yacht.
Sure, it's the shore excursion customizable Santorini touring van.
That it's like an airport shuttle van. That's amazing. Yes.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Sprinter van with luxurious seats.
Alternatively, we could go old school style and
the Volkswagen bus.
The Volkswagen.
That's right. Then we would all be required though to dress in Hawaiian shirts at that point, or something along those lines.
It's like, are we going to steal luxury cars for once? I'm so tired of vans.
The Sprinter van's nice.
I mean, yeah, but
they're good on gas. Johnny. Johnny has that fleet card. Fleet card that he gets like cash back on gas.
Right.
Johnny's got Geico fuel perks.
The way I look at it is this guy is not off the grid at all, right? So
No, I mean he's off the grid a little bit, but on the chance that like he has an estate, you know what I mean? So like there's not a lot of people around him, but definitely like right in the city. You know what I mean? He's not hiding.
And I take it he's on the hills overlooking the water.
Oh yeah,
most of Santorini. So basically, it's winding streets, difficult curving roads that basically have been down for hundreds of years. So if we're going to move about in this place, we're going to need to figure out other ways to move. Either we're going to be on foot, or we're going to need drones. Really get anywhere.
They're still on back order on Amazon.
Yeah.
Damn it.
We need Vespas.
Do you know what you could do though, Johnny? You could consider, why don't we make ourselves to be a group of people that he would want to talk to? Like, so what are his business practices? What type of people would he want to have a meeting with openly?
Well, Byron, so we know he's 95 or 96. He's former SS. I don't know what they fed the SS during World War II, but every Nazi still alive is pretty much SS. So it's got to been something good. It's been like vitamin shots or something. So basically, when he does deals in his portfolio, what kind of deals is he doing?
Wow. I mean, everything you could think of, like running guns, lots of illegal activities. Doesn't do a lot of like drugs. So nothing really like that.
Sorry, Evan.
But yeah, he's definitely.
All right, can we get a picture of him?
Picture of him?
Yeah.
Would you like that with?
Does he look like a guy in his He's a guy in his 90s, but he looks like he's in his 50s.
Oh, you mean a current picture of him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't really have a picture of him now. He doesn't have us.
An old one?
You probably find one of him in his Nazi uniform, like an old photograph or something like that. But other than that, no.
Perhaps we could cover as buyers of weapons, some sort of arms dealer, and get a meeting with him.
Mm-hmm. He deals in arms. We can confirm that.
Wait.
I have CIA and MI5 files would say so.
Okay.
Yeah, here's a picture. There you go.
He looks like a raisin.
For the stream, they can't see that. It's a picture of a prune.
That's actually a raisin.
That's a raisin, but that's not a raisin.
Raisin, prune.
Old, dried up, and yeah.
How dare you? How dare you mistake a raisin?
You know that old leathery skin that like people that tan too much have?
Well, yeah. So we could try and pose. I mean, basically, though, we think that he's tied to the doctor and to the trail we were following. Or forgive me, was it that we got the tip from the vampire?
Right.
Remind me of his connection.
His connection was he was on the list as being present at the Prosper Mine.
Oh, okay. So we're going to go back. All right.
So this old World War II picture, if we do find it, does he look middle-aged in the picture? Does he look like a fairly young man?
He looks probably around in his mid-30s.
What?
All right. Really? He definitely has some supernatural shit going on.
Yeah.
There's no way.
I know. Saying that he's not into drugs, I was going to burst out laughing because he's 96. Now, he looks like a 35-year-old. I mean, maybe he only did the drugs the one time when he was 35, but...
Well, I mean, he was a 35-year-old back during World War II.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You don't have any current photographs.
I think we should assume that he probably has some kind of supernatural support.
So, Byron,
obviously,
no surveillance in his like in any of the sort of agencies that he works with. They don't have any surveillance records of him. Nothing that they've kept. It's like just blank.
It seems like all of the photos that they have are of, like things that he was involved in. There's pictures of other people. There's pictures of but no pictures of him whatsoever.
What the hell?
Do we know? I mean, he's 95. His medical care would be a trail if he was a typical 95-year-old. Do we know if he's hired or brought in any physicians, any medical equipment?
Private doctors, yeah.
$30 million yacht, like $20 million worth of like intensive care unit, and like $10 million worth of
So that's an awesome way of looking at it. So I mean, you scour like, because I mean, you're not gonna fly in like medical equipment, you know what I mean? You're gonna buy it local, and you do some Evan, probably does some low level. I wouldn't even call it hacking at this point, they're not really secure in their dealings of medical equipment and stuff like that in Greece, and you don't see any documentation of anything like that.
Fucking knew it.
Yeah,
he's a vampire.
Or
the house is on the hills of Santorini. It's a 4-floor like mansion that kind of you can get like the architectural plans of the house and from an old realtor's office. It looks like the house was built in late 1990s, but it uses a lot of antique architecture and stuff like that. So marble that's fun, taken from old buildings in Santorini and stuff like that. So it's a new construction, but it's been used with materials from.
Can I get the public records, Byron, and be able to sort out like any contractor hires there where they might have brought in excessive electronics vendors and such surveillance type stuff, security on the premises? Anything like that?
You do see that there are, documentation that security's been added to the house. You pull up like his homeowner's insurance documents, and it says like in an event of a total loss, like what would your property be worth? Or something
I looked to see if he has a coffin listed in the list of things that he'd want to replace.
Coffin.
How many cases of soil does he have?
Yeah,
it does have a fire suppression system throughout the house that was installed.
Like a corporate grade one, like industrial grade. Can I tell anything about that?
Like
heavy duty,
like the type of grade that you would expect to see in like an art gallery, high-end art gallery.
Hey, Johnny,
can we get information on when that was installed and by whom?
It looks like it was installed during the construction of the house, and it's regularly upkept.
When was it constructed? Remind me.
In the late 90s.
Yeah, honestly, it's smart. If he is a vamp, he removed his only real weakness is that you set the entire house on fire, or you at least douse it with some kind of accelerant, and it reaches his coffin.
Well, remember how
wherever he has it, then.
He said it needs regular upkeep. We could also pose as people coming to upkeep his fire suppression system.
Yeah, who's upkeep? What company is performing the upkeep?
The same company that installed it. It's like I don't know, pick a Greek fire company.
Can we track that company to any other Nazi connections? As to maybe there's some sort of German company or something like that?
Yes, Greek Fire LLC.
Greek Fire LLC. That's what it is. No, it's like Athens Fire Security System. I don't know. Throwing it out there. But
Chariots of Fire, you mean?
The other thing
nothing that Chariots of Fire Security.
If it's on Santorini, it's probably made 95% of concrete and then plaster. It's probably not very flammable to begin with, although there's probably some wood in there. I'm wondering, like, when you said modern state of the art, like an argon gas fire suppression system?
Either that or it's going to be foam.
So, not to lie, you're going well out of my wheelhouse of knowledge of fire suppression systems. So, if that's very high end, then yes. If it's not, then no.
So, John,
it's very high end. fire can't burn an argon gas, so it preserves things that you want to preserve, like made of paper and so on, without getting them wet, for example.
Yeah, you also notice that it has self-tinting glass. All the windows.
I was going to ask about the windows.
He's advertising all of his weaknesses. The mistress mentioned that each vampire's got different weaknesses, and this one reads like a textbook. If we get some flamethrowers and a UV light, we've got him.
We've already tried UV light on a previous one.
She said that they all have different weaknesses.
Different weaknesses.
Yeah.
The UV light did work on the augmented guy from Marrakesh.
Right.
Yeah.
Because remember, you put his ass in a tanning bed.
So we do have a couple ideas. So Johnny, I wanted to work on the idea of electromagnets because they're magnetic. So I was considering, well, their blood seems to react to magnetism. However, I'm not sure if I want to test this on the field. But if we could get one of them and somehow capture them, I don't know how we do that. I would like to run some magnetic tests on them.
Well, this might be a good time to test that magnetometer or whatever it was, magnetar that we talked about. Have we had time to construct any devices, Byron?
It depends on how fast you wanted to. How fast did you want to come to the Greek Isles? You know, did you want to wrap up at the WHO and spend a week, 2 weeks working on stuff before you came here? Like I don't know how under the gun do you guys feel?
I'd say we give it at least a week, right?
Yeah, I don't feel like we're all that pressed for time. It's not like an threat of thermonuclear.
As far as we can tell.
Right.
So I might try to do an electromagnet. I want to try to make some more of those, like some UV mounted lights to put on like the end of, almost like flashlights to put on the end of guns. I'm trying to think what else we could do.
We could do like
Underworld.
we could do like headlamps, even.
UV bullets.
No, I'm not gonna be that unrealistic. Like from Blade or no, that was from Underworld. Yeah.
Blade just had the big fucking camping light. It was UV.
Yeah. I mean, honestly,
it's so heavy. It's like, but you're
it's
so
not hard
strong.
to get powerful UV light. I could basically make the equivalent of a deer spotter in UV that would basically really fuck them up if they're weak against UV. So
Tesla's like the super spy version of Whistler from Blade.
Well,
I mean,
Tesla, if you could set up a device that detects magnetic disturbances and then swivels to point a powerful UV beam wherever it detects it, we could set those up as stations outside of.
Are you talking about basically trying to make like UV turrets that react only to vampires?
Well, it's an excellent idea, Tesla. Why don't you go with that?
Yeah.
I mean, that'll be something that is going to be a long-term thing to work on. But since we're going to be going on the attack anyway, and we're not really being defensive right now, probably not a big deal.
Well, what we talked about last time was, and again, borrowing ideas, I'll say out of character, from Aliens, was the little detector that might detect the presence of a moving magnetic, I'll call it entity, whether it be human or otherwise, that we'd use. And the other idea would be is like kind of like in Aliens, the extended cut, where they had the auto guns, but they don't have to be auto guns. We could skip that and just go with the detector, perhaps.
Well, actually, like those ghost hunting shows have those EMF meters, and ironically, if their blood is magnetic, it would actually, I think, react to an EMF meter. I don't know. I don't know how good the range would be, but it might give us a moment of warning. So
I like that.
Yeah, this is what Johnny's suggesting. Basically, on this mission, if you can come up with a prototype, since this individual's likely affected, but probably not as dangerous, it might be a good place to see if we can scope these individuals out on them, and thus spot them in crowds, or if he's hiding in a crawl space, easily detect him behind a wall, for example.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the other things that Lizzie told us about. We're going to call her Lizzie from now on because, you know, we're friends with her now. She was talking about if you put something in front of a stairway, they can't walk past it.
A bowl underneath the doorway, an empty bowl.
An empty bowl. So what I'll do is I'm going to focus on the technology. If you guys want to try weird speculative shit like garlic or rowan wood, I'm going to leave that to you because I want to focus on the technology.
Well, I think
so UV or UV, the electromagnetism, and because you guys can easily like make rowan wood stakes or whatever.
I just need you to make me a crossbow that fires rowan wood stakes. That's all
I can't imagine that would be that hard. I mean, however, we don't even know if the stakes worked.
Well, I think
right, but like she said, they have different weaknesses. So I'd rather be prepared with the rowan wood than not have it at all.
All right, Byron. What's it going to take for me to do this shit in like a week and a half?
What are you trying to make?
All this stuff, like rig up a whole bunch of really powerful UV, like spotter lights.
I mean, you could slap some shit together,
right? and a rowan wood shooting crossbow.
I mean, you could probably make the rowan wood bolts for the crossbow. That's probably not an issue.
Yeah,
that's pretty straightforward.
My man.
The UV lights and stuff, in a week, you could probably slap together some stuff that might work. That's your best bet. You don't have any idea if it's like really gonna work.
Oh, I mean, we have no idea if any of this is gonna work. But
it probably throws out UV. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna try to put out something that puts out a lot of UV, like a tanning bed, or like 5 times the tanning bed, or something like that.
Wait.
You remember the old-fashioned flash cubes that were chemical before they had electrical? If batteries are a problem, can you rig up essentially like a flash cube that fires in UV? So it's intense, it's bright, doesn't require a battery, and can only be used like with a certain number of charges.
It's gonna require a battery. You don't have anything that's not
if batteries are you know those disco balls that you see at the clubs that shoot out the streams in all directions, right? Something like that, but UV. Throw it in the room, shoots out every direction. You don't have to spot
just
them
like that, but
quick.
completely different.
Yeah, they're quick.
Thank God Evan was here.
My only concern about items like that is that we would be blinded by our own devices, which could be bad for us if they're not effective. So I was going to go with stuff that we direct at them, so it doesn't ruin our line of sight.
But they're so fast.
But why? That sounds so fun.
They're so fast. You're not going to be able to hold it on unless you get them in the corner.
It's really hard to kill people when you can't see.
I mean, I'm sure Lily has no problem with that, but
I mean, I could probably figure it out. But
so perhaps a one-sided disco ball.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
I think
I could probably rig up something like that.
No, like a beauty light in the business. It's called. It's like a bowl, and you hold it up to the flash, and it directs the flash, reflects off the interior of the bowl back at the target, so then it doesn't flash at the photographer.
Yeah,
right. It'd be a great way to disguise it too.
Or we get a bat signal and put ultraviolet rays on it and mount it to the top of the van.
Well, look at it this way. What I'm going for is maximum brightness. So I want something that is like at least like 3,000 to 4,000 lumens, because that's like the measurement of how fucking bright something is. So it's actually how much UV. I want the maximum amount of UV out of this shit. So I want like some really strong shit coming out of this.
So if you were to take like a concert light, like I just posted one there, like a concert light that we could power with a car battery or something like that, right? Something that's meant to light a stage and be hideously bright. We could get some Ray-Bans.
I think that might be our best bet.
Yeah.
It's something that would almost like actually, if you shined it into an actual normal person's eyes, it would probably blind them anyway.
But then I like Johnny's idea of the flashes. Because you got this one, which will spin, and it would be in a room, and we could, if we could, sort of out of character, we could trap them in a room and let that thing run with a car battery. You could probably get a couple hours out of a car battery running on that thing, right?
Well, yeah, and then that's true. And if it restricts them from moving through an area, and we have to retreat, it'd be something good to toss out. So so feasible, Byron, or
Probably hook something up.
all right, sweet.
Maybe you could have a out of character a backpack with a car battery in it, and then LED, technology to burn it, like you said, sort of like a Ghostbuster.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Is basically rigging up Ghostbuster packs, except with super fucking bright lights.
They're super heavy, super
And
heavy.
I'm not carrying one.
You know what? How about me and Dr. Mitchell carry it? Because I know Dr. Mitchell works out a lot. Well, this is hardcore.
And are you able to build the little flashes like Johnny's idea of sort of absence of a power source? We need something quick just to sort of flash in their face.
Basically, ultraviolet
like basically the
grenades.
equivalent of a flashbang grenade.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I actually already made those, and it didn't work on that one vampire, but we can try it again.
Okay.
All right.
Do we get a refresh, Byron, on our skills and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Oh, we did?
We did
All right.
now.
How refreshing, right?
Get it?
So how are we protecting our eyes after all that discussion?
Sunglasses.
I mean, honestly,
Tanning bed goggles.
Yeah,
Honestly.
we're probably just use some eye protection.
Sort of like Ray-Bans to protect ourselves from the flashes. I think the ideal way to do this is just not pointed at your own face, but if you see
you never know what can happen.
True.
We should have a safe word. If you see a team member who's in your flash range, then scream out like, Santorini,
Macaroni
and then they'll know to shield their eyes, while the vampire will be confused because.
No.
Well, and the good news is that we should also consider the merits of conventional weaponry. Not all of these things are capable of dodging a bullet. Hopefully,
I think you should definitely stay with all the prototypes.
Well, no, they'll definitely have. I would imagine this gentleman will have security. There's a reason why he likes money, and I would imagine it's probably to keep his normal security underway. So yes, I do agree. We should all carry our normal conventional arms and be prepared to deal with security. Now, if we're going to go undercover, first, though, we still haven't quite established exactly what kinds of contracts that this guy's into. So, Byron, I'll say it to you, Evan. Evan, in addition to the medical equipment and the security equipment, are there any other receipts of note, let's say in the tens of thousands of dollars, that might be something that we could go in under? And I would just offer to the group, right now we could go as medical professionals, perhaps, if there are medical gear, but I think you said there's not.
No,
we could go as security personnel who are there to fix an issue which perhaps Tesla could create in their security system in advance.
Probably wouldn't be too hard if I get access to the outside of the house.
Right.
It seems like he has a fire security system, but you don't see an exterior company that would be in charge of like regular security.
So if we know nothing else, then if Tesla can remotely rig a device that will cause their fire security system to put off a warning, so that, and then Jason, Evan, intercepts the calls coming from the mansion and redirects them to our own exchange, so we can take the call. Then we could arrive to fix the fire alarm system, if that will work.
I should be able to do that. I also want to get a look at just what kinds of money has he spent and where over the last month or so. Like, what have his habits been? Can I trace any sort of patterns, any exchange of hands, any irregular phone calls, just things like that, numbers that he might call all the time? Maybe it's a local contact or a girlfriend or whatever. Anything like that, Byron?
So you don't see a lot of electronic chatter per se from like phone lines. You don't see a lot of that information. Actually, the fact that you don't see it at first kind of picks your like attention.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned it to Johnny's like, that's not real surprising. It sounds like this guy has like CIA connections and stuff like that. So he probably, you know, monitors his usage of information via, you know, cell phone or what have you. Probably has a methodology or tradecraft to protect himself from that. Most of the expenditures and stuff you see literally are like luxury items. Like he bought a yacht, bought like some Sea-Doos. He's had like these luxurious parties. You find like a list of this place that does ice sculptures, and he just has like every 2 weeks he pays like $10,000 to $15,000 for an ice sculpture.
I try to cross-reference any missing persons reports, any, you know what I mean? Sort of like, oh, this person was at a party and they never, like anything like that going on? Police reports?
You find several, people that were models that were supposedly on like photo shoots and stuff like that in Greece that have gone missing.
I get recently?
International, like you find like one of like this in an Australian newspaper that she supposedly went on vacation or holiday in Greece and you know, never came back. You find several, like as you start thinking about them, you start like tracking, you know, missing persons reports and conspiracy theory style looking at stuff, and sure enough, you begin to see a pattern of young women who have gone missing.
Evan, could you compare the blood types of missing women to see if there's a pattern?
I can try.
It's like while you're at it, do they all have blonde hair and blue eyes?
I look, do they?
No, they don't.
No.
No, because they would. Because they're perfect.
Well, who would know anyway? I mean, they probably have different color hairs, you know, based on different color or based on different situations.
That's a fact.
Right.
Yeah, I try to find some medical records for Johnny, but I don't know. Is that going to require a spend or anything heavy there?
You said medical records?
Yeah, to get like blood types.
I mean, you could probably track them down. That's going to take some time.
Okay.
That would take more time than you probably would be willing to spend on that particular thing. If that's something you're seriously interested in, I would say it's gonna require probably a day's worth of work to track down that, because you got to go through several different countries. It's an international thing. It's not like you're not seeing them all from a Greek perspective. You're seeing some of them from the United States, some of them from Australia.
Could I be doing this while I'm sorry, Tyler? Could I be doing this while Tesla's building his contraptions? Would that be would I have enough coverage?
That week we're taking.
Yeah, is that possible?
Yeah, I guess you could have done it during that.
Okay.
And can we, with all the missing person reports, they would have their last seen location. Can we kind of like triangulate a location that would be around all of them?
Well, that works in solved cases a lot, but in unsolved cases, you don't. So you know they were headed to the Greek Isles, but other than that, you don't have any.
We don't have any like cell phone tracking data from them.
No, nothing along that line.
Evan, could you see if a common person booked all these models and compare it to models who survived and were maybe booked by the same agent to see if there was really a pattern there?
I do it. Yeah.
They're all by the same agency.
Yeah, they're the same agency.
May I ask, while we're taking this time, can we like contract with somebody, spend some networking points to have somebody local kind of watching the house? You know, try and see
more than welcome. You're
who's
more than
coming
welcome
in and
to
going
spend some
out.
networking points.
All right.
Yep. So that'd be like creating a contact or network. So basically, you would say what you are willing to do, how many points of your, your pool that you want to spend on that person, and then just kind of describe them, and they will be a permanent fixture.
What do you think, guys? I'm just thinking this is a way to kind of figure out whether he has what services he's using and who's coming in and out, what his patterns are. Does that work?
Certainly. If one of you has a contact who has lived on the island for a long time, that would be ideal. Although you realize that the moment you activate that contact, that their life will be in jeopardy. So I hope it's no one you're really attached to.
Well, that's where those point spends come in. Is that the number? So basically, for every point that you put in your contact, you can require them to do something. And when their contact points run out, that's when they are exposed.
Yeah, I was just doing it in character, Byron.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no problem. I just want to make sure we hadn't done that for quite a while, so
Sure.
I wanted to make sure everybody actually understood the rule. There I go, like trying to do the rules.
Yes, so you'll temporarily lose a few points, but well, who cares if Igor's dead? I'm sorry.
He was only a
playing
level 2 friend.
It's only a level 2 friend.
So what kinds of stuff do we want to get out of this person?
We want to understand who are the main points of contact that this Sigmund has with the world. Who does the shopping? Who takes care of the house? Does he have a first assistant who, let's say, books the agents? Also, if possible, they should be armed with a device that lets them see and copy down cell phone numbers as if they were a man-in-the-middle cell phone attack device. These are very common. The Russians make them for $50. So we can pick up those numbers and give them to Evan. Then Evan can trace those. And when we call to see about the false alarm on the fire system that Tesla will create, hopefully it'll be one of those numbers that's called that Evan can intercept. All of that would be ideal. Forgive me, though, I don't mean to preclude others. Are there other things that we want to get?
Can't think of. Although I must admit, we might honestly just want to go in just complete tactical gear and just like blow everything up.
Oh, well,
You always want to do that, Tesla.
we could do that. I mean, but imagine their surprise when they call about the fire alarm system, and the first two who get out of the van look like fire alarm people, but then the third person is Lily. They will be surprised.
I mean that's true. So who's going to be the people dressed up? You and?
Oh no. I'm far too old. Dr. Mitchell's far too professional. Lily is far too deadly. I think it would have to be Evan and you, Tesla, would be the primary candidates to be fire alarm fix-it people. After all, Tesla, you and Evan are the most experienced with electronic devices in the first place.
Can we use that opportunity to plan
And also
some
fire.
surveillance? To get some
And
surveillance
fire.
on him? I mean, conscious of the fact that he's out here minding his own business on a boat and, eating models or whatever he's doing. And, should we try to find out what the fuck he's doing wrong other than the eating of the models and all? Like, who's he connected with and how does he work into this? And then we could kill him for being a Nazi first, and then we could kill him again for being a vampire. But if we go in guns a-blazing, Tesla, it's not going to work out for us at all. I just don't think.
I mean, I guess if he has security, if we take him out fast enough during the daytime, he might not even be awake, and then we can just pound a stake through his heart and cut off his head and stuff it with garlic, and then.
He said he's got self-tinting windows. He might not even bother sleeping. We don't know if he even requires rest.
Well,
He's 95, dude. He goes to bed at 7.
Seven? That's late.
After getting the 4:30 dinner special.
If we have to, we could try to. I could try to blow out the windows,
I can blow out his back.
or I could try to blow out an entire wall. But I agree, Johnny. If we get close, we should try to get as close as we can because we're gonna face some resistance. Closest we get, closer we get before he realizes that we're a danger, the better off we're gonna be. So,
Indeed, we could get invited inside the gates, and also silencers are good, but unless we are inside the compound and at least about 45 meters away from any outside wall, I would imagine we might draw the attention of the neighbors otherwise.
Ooh.
So, Johnny, one thing, you already kind of did some research and stuff. So as the stuff is kind of unfolded, one of the things that kind of piques your mind from your previous history spend on our friend Elsbeth is that, young women going missing, that sounds a lot like Elizabeth's story.
Yeah, that sounds like her MO, and I'm like, I'm starting to wonder if he's the one who procures it for her.
No pun intended, but I suspect vampires are a major drain on all model agencies around the world.
Drain.
Is he present in local media in any way, like his parties, his events, the fact that he moved here, anything like that? Is it like, oh wow, this international playboy just had a party and models were there?
So you start looking at like outlets along that lines, and one of the things that you see is that he gives away. He's a very active philanthropist. He has paid for schools. He has done lots of things in the community in Greece.
He sounds like a great guy.
It's like the equivalent of building a nice farm for your cattle, I guess, right? Like,
Everyone's got to be put down at some point.
So do they talk about his parties and the models, and do stars come to them? Is it that public, or is it?
As you begin digging and stuff, you start to find some here and there that have showed up in some of your like the National Enquirer and stuff like that.
Oh, dude, I'll take those to Johnny as fact. Look at this. Look. I ordered printed copies just in case we need them. They'll be at HQ when we arrive.
Oh, wonderful, Evan. This is excellent. Says Johnny.
Don't roll your fucking eyes at me. Vampires, Johnny. This is the only publication that says fuck all about vampires, except for the multitude of papers that you told me I shouldn't read.
Honestly, some of those kooky sources might not be as crazy as we originally thought they were. I mean, obviously, people who believe in Bigfoot and aliens, they're still fucking crazy. But other sources,
when you
might really have some.
Tesla, when you finish with your next murderous rampage, maybe you should sit down and read some. It's calming. It's centering.
It's not saying that large-footed, non-this world vampires don't exist, but that said, I think we should perhaps move on with the details of the day. I know that Evan has at least one whole day's work ahead of him.
Yep.
So let us continue, please.
All right, sounds good.
Right.
I'll work on making my stuff. We have our plan figured out. So
I have some experimenting to do with these blood samples.
Yeah. Speaking of testing, I'm gonna try to assault Evan, since he also drank the blood, to see if I can hurt him. When he's
so what do? You just you just wait for him to walk down the hallway.
Wait for him to be super unsuspecting and basically punch him and grapple with him.
I think he's wearing his Bigfoot slippers that he carries just to piss Tesla off.
No, they're yeah. So Evan's wearing his Bigfoot slippers, and Lily's wearing her Hello Kitty slippers. And we get the Slipper Fest.
Oh God, is this going to turn into a furry convention?
I think I've got to.
Evan, you're like kicking back. You're like you got your local Starbucks. You're just like kind of pounding away on the old keyboard or whatever, and out of nowhere, Lily just comes up and just punches you right in the side of the face.
And the fur goes flying.
Like your Starbucks cup.
I would stop after I hit him the first time.
You fucking cunt! What is your problem? I'm bleeding! Johnny!
I'll pat him on the back and walk away. You'll be okay.
Johnny, she hit me again. I almost spilled my...
Well, that's one question answered.
So there's a disconnect between both of us drinking the blood
Well, great experiment.
I would go over to the magnet. Just watching myself bleed in the back of my mind. I walk over to the magnet and hold my finger. I don't let myself be seen, just in case. Just kind of hold my hand there and see if the blood moves along the little rivulets of blood move, or do they just stay where they are?
They stay where they are.
Fucking told you I'm not a vampire. God damn it! You loosened my tooth. Fuck! And go sit back down. I'm not a vampire.
I didn't think you were.
Then what the do we need to have a moment, like a real world moment? I go in there and just shut the door and we have an argument or something. I'm just like, what the fuck?
I was running a test. The best way to test something is trial and error.
You know I didn't elect a dental insurance. You loosened my tooth with that one, and it was Johnny's got me on a deadline.
I write that up on the whiteboard.
I'm just trying to keep you on your feet, buddy.
And drinkers of blood hurt each other. Check.
Doctor, while those two are flirting, could you tell us, did you find anything out about your contact and their monitoring of the mansion?
Did I?
Could you? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess it's to Byron.
So what were you having your contact do? Specifically, like who is it? What's her name or his name?
Oh man, I have to come up with a name.
Yeah, that's the way this works. Like you come up with a name, your background, all that stuff, what you want them to do. And
Damn it, Byron! I mean, man, come on.
Why do we even have rules? Why do you?
Hold on. I have to figure out a good Greek name here.
Oh, okay. I thought we had discussed Igor, but I guess Igor's gone. He's last week's news.
Yeah. He was a level 1 friend. Sorry.
That's right.
He was a level 1 friend.
Red
That was
shirt.
Piotr.
Besides, Igor around a vampire, before we know it, he'll be an underling. We can't really trust anyone named Igor.
True.
Well, I guess it is mostly more of a Frankenstein thing. I get my mythical monsters.
It's Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Frau Bruche. Yes. We win.
Dr. Mitchell, you seem stumped. What's wrong?
Just trying to
Not good
remember
at
his
coming
name.
up with names. Okay.
All of your contacts, strangely enough, their first name is Bob. Their last name are different colors.
Nico Green.
I like that.
Nico Green.
There you go.
And what does Nico Green do for a living? What does he supposedly do for a living?
See, maybe an event planner, something
Yeah,
like
like
that.
one of those little Euro push carts.
Oh, yeah. That'd be awesome.
Yeah,
You
he
get a
pushes
lot
it
of
all the way
really-
up the hill to the mansion every single day at 2. No, I think he's an event planner, and that gives him an in to a lot of different businesses and a lot of different names. You know, and so he's got his fingers in a lot of pies there. So he's got a lot of contacts, a lot of reasons to be talking to people and asking questions and smoozing.
Yeah, he's like a high-end wedding planner type guy, like somebody who like plans events, stuff like that.
He could do that, or a bat mitzvah, or
My big fat Greek bat mitzvah.
yeah, great big bat mitzvah.
I mean, that might preclude him from being in the Nazis.
He's got that one special that he runs for the blood orgies. I think you told me about it. Remember that, Doctor?
Oh yes, the blood
Oh
orgy.
yeah, that's when they put the lamb on the spit, right?
Yeah.
That what that's
They put the international supermodel on the spit and they just spin him around.
Ooh, not a good
Lamb supermodel, it's just a matter of terminology. He does a great Easter celebration.
Okay, yeah. So you get a hold of Nico and you ask him to, look at planning some events and stuff like that. And, he's asking if maybe you ask him if anybody has reached out to him to plan any events, or if he's had any events planned for this Joaquin Sealman. And he says that no, he doesn't actually do any events there, but he has heard of server events that have been there.
Okay.
Can he?
Go ahead.
Can he get one of the man in the middle interceptors to see if he can figure out what cell phones are making calls out from that mansion or in the general vicinity? Because you can't really direct it, right? It's non-directional.
He doesn't really have much idea what you're talking about. He's like, I'm an event planner.
He's not like MI5 or anything.
Spycraft stuff, but
Well, Dr. Mitchell, do you know any thieves who hang around the airport? It's essentially the same operation. They turn on their cell phones, it calls, the device picks up the cell phone numbers and writes them down with their access codes. That's essentially how, basically, simple identity theft.
Do I know any? I don't think that I do. Nico might. Can
Right,
ask him.
we need someone criminal. We need someone technical. We need the real scum of the earth. Evan?
Oh, yeah, probably. Hang on.
You know anyone? John will ask if Evan knows anyone like that.
he might have a Street Scarlet contact.
I got some network, so I'm gonna.
Doctor, I understand.
I could talk to
Part two.
Percy. Percy, if you want me to. He's around this part sometimes.
And someone who, if they should happen to disappear, doesn't know anything about us.
No, that would be Percy, all right? Yeah. I tried to get in touch with Percy. I'm going to put... So what was the 2 points? What was the point definition? It was 2 points. I get to ask essentially two things of them, more or less.
For each, yeah, essentially for 2 points, you can ask them two things before they're exposed.
And you can't increase points once you've spent them, or you can.
You can.
Okay.
So that's done through XP only. You can refresh pools on contacts that you've made. But
can we loan
XP.
points for this? Can I give him some of my points?
I've got plenty. I've got 17. And I've only spent.
Oh, you got plenty? Okay.
Yeah. I was just trying
everybody
to figure
should have enough.
if he turns out to work. So Percy is a con man. And he's, does everything from petty criminal and scams and things like that to, this one big real estate thing that he's still running from. And I could swear he's here because who the hell would look for him here? And I think he's from Texas. Nope, I'm sorry. No, he's from Kentucky. Old Percy. But yeah, so he's I reach out to him. 2 points.
He's like, Evan, how you doing? Well, I'm assuming, do you know him by Evan?
Yeah.
Do you know you by Evan? Yeah. He's like, how you doing, sir?
You're not gonna believe this, Percy, but I'm actually in town. And I hate to be blunt, but I need a favor. Can we talk?
A favor? Yeah, what you need, son?
Well, I need you to run a bit of a job for me. It's easy. It's very easy. I just need you to get a device, kind of, and the specifically, Dan, what you were saying, you wanted this sort of interceptor device on the property or something like that between them, or is that what you're shooting for?
Yeah, you guys, right? Yeah, if he knows about identity theft, he'll know about this. So basically, a man-in-the-middle attack is where you have a small scanner that like thieves all the world use. They're like cheap, and they stand within proximity of the mansion, let's say. And so when anybody makes a call, the device actually acts like a little mini or cellular tower. And so instead of registering to the cell tower, it actually registers on the device. Then the device sends it to the tower.
Yeah. Okay. So,
and that's the man in the middle.
So
I understand.
Yeah. So what I need you to do is just run a little man in the middle thing. So there's a little cafe I want you to spend some time at. Sky's the limit. Steak, wine, you name it. But I need you to make sure you've got this device on you, and that and nobody sees you come and go. Can you do that for me?
Well, I'm pretty sure I can make that happen.
All right. Well, how about we call
you
it
don't have
square
that
on
bottle
that.
of you don't happen to have that bottle of Pappy Van Winkle you promised me, do you?
Well, as funny as you might say, I can't travel with that through customs, of course. But you don't happen to have that real estate, the dividends on that investment I made then, do you?
Well, you know that stuff only pays out every now and then.
Then we have an understanding, don't you?
The market, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, you know.
To be honest, a friend of mine got completely shit-faced, popped the bottle on that whiskey and just drank the whole thing like water. So, I mean, I'll just have to find another one, and maybe we can meet up in exchange when you've got my money. But I'm happy to pay the usual arrangement for your trouble. Can we do it?
All right, I guess I'll let this go today.
I hang up. Fucking Americans. I would have obviously given him the nice thank you for the diagram of man in the middle. I know what that is. I was just asking if you want a device fixed there, or if you want Percy to sit there. So I guess I would.
I didn't necessarily know what it was, so it helped me. So.
It's entirely up to you, Evan. I mean, obviously, if he's there to man the thing, it might be a little exposed. But if he can set up a device remotely and he can cut it into the power supply, that would work too. That would be excellent. I leave these details up to you, of course. You're the technologist. I'm just, an old man who can barely work a cell phone.
I will look into the property, Byron, to see if there's obviously I don't have a drone, but what can I find out if there's a good spot to put this? But I sort of think Percy's got to do this.
So the property that Joaquim has is on the hills of Santorini. It's kind of at the top of a wide hill. However, there are several pieces of property that have been unsold around his that are used for high profile parties and stuff of that nature. One gets rented out all the time, and so Percy somehow manages to show it to a few people to see if they're interested in buying it, so forth. And he kind of uses his time there to set it up. He poses as a real estate agent, kind of a little scam thing he has going on, where he gets them to put a deposit down on a property. And then, he disappears.
I like that you're sending schematics on how to make one, Dan. That's amazing.
I say, Evan, before your man disappeared, did he actually get the device in place?
Yeah.
Great. And I'll leave it to you to see if the activity's been compromised.
Yeah, so I would be monitoring that, basically. So we're going to have to check in with that thing physically, though, right, to see what it's gotten, I suppose, right?
Oh, no. It's cellular. You can just dial into it. Get the
information. Nice, okay. Yeah, so I would connect to it, and with some degree, I would set up a script to actually run every hour and check in and see what it's gotten.
Yeah, so mostly what it gets is it gets some calls from some of maybe... You guess not from the actual main household, but from like some of the security personnel or so forth that maybe work on the estate. And that's really about it. So it's calls to a private number. The one is actually like a strip club. And
Evan loses like 5 hours investigating the strip club.
Yeah. So it looks like one of those like mobile strip clubs.
They're gonna order him a stripper. That's sort of like Postmates or food delivery, I'd guess. Right? That's gross. Isn't?
I always wondered what you were smelling. Now I know. Mobile strip joints. You know your thing.
So it's local here. Are they ordering strip joints? Or
I mean, it shows you the number that it calls, but that's all it shows, right, Dan?
Yeah, he'll get the numbers. Then he'd have to use his other research to like any other number, look to
Yep.
see what it goes to, and
Yeah.
what it might do is it might also give like the integration codes for the communication. So if Evan wanted to try and hack one of their phones from it, I'm trying to think, can you do that? No, not from that device, but he would have the information he needs if he got proximity with another device to get into their phones. He could not, though, with the thing itself. The thing itself would just copy down the information as well as all the packets. And if it was recent enough, the handshake information, I'll call it that, would still be in the device so that he could hack their phones. That's exactly what people do, as actually they replicate the phone on a new cell phone card, and then they download all the information that's available off the phone itself. That's how they steal it in.
So it would download like pictures and call history and stuff like that.
He could do that subsequently, yeah.
Okay. I would say that's well within your ability to do. I might require a 1-point tradecraft spend.
Can I use digital intrusion or tradecraft? Can I use either one? Or is it tradecraft?
I would allow you to use either.
Ooh, I prefer digital intrusion.
Because of if someone else, I would probably make them use the tradecraft, but I would say that Evan would be able to use it.
Yep.
Does he have to make a stability roll not to spend all his points downloading the mobile stripper pictures?
So
I'm not as familiar with the stability things as Jason is, but
no, I mean I don't make a roll. I do download all the information I can about the strippers.
He's like, I don't even try. I just do it.
I would. I did make the spin though, Byron. So what am I going to get off this guy's phone?
You notice that this one particular phone is highly active on like I'll call it the Greek version of Tinder, and it seems like this guy this guy has a serious like you would assume sex addiction.
I don't assume that at all. No, he's the shopping guy. He's a grocery shopper for the estate, I would guess. Is there and it may take too much time to try to track down every thread on Tinder, but is there any way to get a couple of the most recent or maybe a little further back than the most recent connections that he's made, and then cross-reference any sort of like murder investigations against or missing persons investigations against Tinder, whatever this website is profiles?
So yeah, you actually kind of cross-reference some of the things, and two of the girls that are the like models that went missing, like their descriptions, their pictures kind of match these profiles.
I show Johnny. This is disturbing.
I say, Evan, I don't need to see your personal stuff.
Look, just, I cover up the boobs. Look, these are the models that are missing. What I wasn't joking about grocery shopping. He's attracting these women there for food. The good news is he's probably fat because look at all these that are missing.
He's probably fat.
Or he's keeping them in storage.
See, I see. So, okay. So he's supplementing his model of diets with local dancers from the island. Yeah. This has got to be putting a strain on the resources of the island. Someone must be noticing. Interesting.
Which would
I wonder if we could. It's a very active tourist destination, so it doesn't necessarily. You wouldn't necessarily think it would put a strain, because it's not. It would be a strain on the population, but some of these people go in and out.
Evan, can you see if there have been any large payoffs to the people who booked the strippers? Can we see if they are in league in supplying these women knowingly for an extra fee?
I bet they're paid.
I mean, surely you must know what the standard fee is for a stripper like this. Are they paying extra?
You must know what the standard
I'm just going to keep doing that. Let's totally not to. Jason, I'll just...
Give me 1 sec. I'm going to take a quick bio break.
Yep.
All right. We're going to take a quick break.
Let's do it, man. Let's do the official bio break. Give me a nice place to stop the edit. So we'll be right back.
Yes, I
didn't
think.
know if you-
Yeah, he texted me. I
Yeah, I
think
know.
this fake Tinder profile idea is a great idea.
It's
think
not
That's
bad.
amazing. I gotta admit, I did not expect that.
I think we need to change like our conventional weaponry. I think we need to start using like using like shotguns with buckshot. It spreads wider, and if we wing a vampire with the buckshot, then it might throw them off balance. Because we found that when we were using rifle rounds or handgun rounds, they were able to dodge it. So I'm thinking we need weapons that spread at least a little bit,
like a flamethrower. Old school.
Honestly, I feel like flamethrowers are just too dangerous for like. There was a reason why people don't use them. Why they were used, it's to limited effect in World War II, and then basically abandoned after that because it's super dangerous for the person using it.
They used them in Vietnam a little bit for the trenches and stuff, or the tunnels. But yeah, they're very dangerous, right? They explode.
I thought they used it to only to burn down the jungle, but I bet they used it on people.
Oh yeah,
I guarantee they used it on people.
That's Lily's Tinder profile right there.
what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Wow.
I don't understand these gifs, but okay.
We were talking about flamethrowers, and I had the idea to make Lily a fake Tinder profile.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if we're going flamethrowers, we might as well just use like grenade launchers and RPGs and shit, and just like because if we're using flamethrowers, why are we holding back anymore? Man, I'll just make like coffee can bombs filled with nails and shit.
How is Dr. Mitchell with all this taco violence?
I mean, I know my job.
But yes, I was talking about just simply bringing in for our standard weapons using like shotguns because they spread a little bit.
Well, honestly, the reason I carry a pistol because it's a lot easier to hide.
Well, that's the downside of our sneaky ways is that we get real close and we get so close to doing something real clever with these vampires, but then once they figure us out, we're just a bunch of assholes with teeny tiny guns trying to shoot at them.
Tesla, how did you make it through the psychological interview to get into the agency?
It's like back when I was first invited to join, I feel like my perspective was a lot different than how things are right now.
Like remember when Johnny sent us to get beer and hot dogs for the barbecue, and as we're walking through, you were talking about the easiest way to kill everyone in this store is to. Do you remember this? Like, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should maybe spend some time talking to Dr. Mitchell. She's helped me with my dating issues, if I'm being honest. Maybe she could help you. Oh, the fuck's wrong with you? It makes you want to kill everything. I would just like to remind you that I'm going into the building with you.
We have to. I mean, we just have to think that how would we go up against a superior enemy? And the only thing I can think of is overwhelming force. And the idea that I blew up that vampire on that oil rig, and it might still be alive, horrifies me.
Well, to tell you the truth, when situations like that, when you really need to succeed and you really need to inflict maximum harm, the approach I like to take is to stay in the van and get Lily involved. But Johnny said, I've got to go in there with you. We can't just...
Don't worry, we'll keep it... Yeah, it's like first thing is we sabotage. And then afterwards, then if we got to go whole hog, we do it.
Always go whole hog.
It's interesting. It seems as if Lily is literally Evan's enema.
I've got an idea.
It's interesting.
Enema?
Anima. Anima.
No,
Enema.
I think it's definitely the enema.
Johnny,
Enema side.
if
Well,
Lily,
it probably is enema, but I was saying anima.
Johnny, if Lily sets up her profile as a tourist looking for, hot sex and all those things while she's here on Santorini, and then we connect with that stripper agency and sort of say, hey, listen, the master's really interested in an Asian girl. I don't know, he's in the mood
Is
for...
Lily underage?
I don't think so.
I hope not.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, what is she, like a 15-year-old assassin?
That would
Could
be
be.
horrible. Yeah.
I mean, I've been killing people since I was 15, but that's not the point.
Like on Sucker Punch.
So, Lily, are you fine with this plan? Are you willing to pose as a...
I was the one that brought it up.
It was her idea.
I wasn't here for it, so I just heard.
I mean, is
Yes.
Lily going to pose as a lady of the night, a working girl?
A dancer.
Oh, yes.
But a tourist dancer, one who's come from Tokyo or something. She's
Maybe
that would also be missed.
maybe she wants to be an influencer, so she's looking she's
Well,
she's
the only
looking
thing-
for a sugar daddy to finance her vacation.
Support my habits.
Did you find out if the agencies are getting extra money for the disappeared girls? Are they in on this? Because
Good
we'd be
question.
selling Lily in by herself, and I just want to understand exactly what her circumstances are going to be.
I try to
You're
find
worried
out.
about
but-
Lily in this case?
Byron,
Well,
am I
yours-
right to? I was going to just ask Byron, am I right to assume they would transact in cash? Probably. Like, there's no credit card charges.
Bitcoin,
this
baby,
place?
Bitcoin.
Yeah. We're in 2000 and where?
Dogecoin.
That's right. It'll cost 10,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah.
2007.
Yeah. Not just one.
All right.
Yeah.
Right.
This particular guy has spent some money via his cellular phone.
But it's
So-
unclear. It's unclear how. It's unclear that he's spending it with this strip joint, and that it's more than the going rate, or
This seems pretty legit. It doesn't seem like a gigantic amount or anything.
Johnny. As a quick aside, the strippers here are actually quite affordable. By most standards. I would relay what I find.
I mean, I do have this coupon.
Buy one, get one half.
While you guys do this research, can I have a spa day or something?
Yeah, you
On
can. You
Santorini.
certainly can.
Yeah,
There are
well,
some really nice spas. in
We'll
Santorini.
set you
both
up
need
with
a spa
nice-
day.
A nice mani-pedi,
Well, that would help set your cover on the island.
And you've got that big date coming up, Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are any of you, Dr. Mitchell, Evan, or Tesla, at all physically imposing enough to pose as a bodyguard, say, for Lily?
For Lily.
I could look like a pimp. I mean, not like a stereotypical pimp, but a real pimp.
Right. Thank you for that, Tesla. Clearly, the answer is no. All right. So, Lily, you'll be going in by yourself.
Clearly, the answer is no.
Unless, Tesla, you really want to attempt to.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just be her guy.
That's
However,
probably
to-
better. I don't speak English, so you're translating for me.
There we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tesla, do you speak Japanese?
No, not really.
Is there any sign that this old Nazi dealt with Japanese or speaks Japanese?
I mean, they were allies in World War
I mean, they
II,
were allies in
Exactly,
World
that's
War
why I was
II.
going.
Does that count?
but
All right. Well,
but maybe not. Maybe not, because I somehow doubt that they had.
He's probably not keeping up on his Japanese.
Yeah.
to be honest, that just doesn't make me less worried about Lily. It makes me more worried about you, Tesla. I think Lily can take care of herself, but I'm afraid they have
Oh wait. Hold oh, hold on. I have languages I didn't pick, and so I'm like, oh wait, I remember. I know Japanese.
You're
All
like,
right.
oh, konnichiwa.
Oh yes, Honda, Toyota, Mitsubishi.
Subaru.
My God, the man's bilingual. I had no idea. All right.
Oh,
Nissan.
as long as you speak only in
Yeah.
Japanese brands, we can get through this.
Next, you're going to say you have a wheelbarrow and a Holocaust cloak. All right. In that case,
Wow.
perhaps that would be ideal. If Lily goes in, perhaps with a group, if it's possible, and Tesla, we get you hired, or at least posing as the bodyguard. Is it too difficult for us to? I mean, there's a question here, right? They're using known sources of dancers on the island. Do we need to get Lily hired, or is it, and then we'll get Tesla hired, or are we going to pose as our own strip agency?
So the models and stuff like that you're seeing, you don't have any documentation or anything that says that this phone belongs to the guy who owns the estate. So this could literally be like one of the bodyguards or guys who works on the.
Well, will someone spend a little time maybe and intercept the calls and listen for how they order this stuff? And maybe what we can do is when they have an order, if it is possible to order single girls, at some point we could be prepared at that point once we understand the pattern. Intercept the prostitute on their way there, or the dancer, and send Lily and Tesla in their place.
And also, like, Evan, you're a super genius, right? Can't you just like malware up the other escort sites or whatever, so that like we're the only option?
So
their schedules are booked.
So yeah, so what I wonder is there a way to sort of cross-advertise to say, hey, strip joint, check out this girl, we would like her, and to come back and to sort of set them up so that they are ordering her and saying, we want this one.
Sure.
At this point, Barrett's like, just get on with it.
Yeah.
I'd say that you could do that relatively easily.
All right.
So I'll try to do that. Obviously, I'm not going to call and talk in my accent or whatever, but I would try to do that sort of, cross-advertising with just texts and such, and see if I can get a bite. I'll start with a message from the number that I was surveilling to the strip joint, saying, "Is a young Asian a possibility?" And whatever,
So,
I'd have Johnny kind of translate probably for me whatever language they're corresponding
one of the
in.
things that you notice is it seems like a lot of the purchases or the times that the communication happens are a lot the same. So it makes you think about this guy's whoever's on the other end of the phone's work schedule, basically, or their life schedule. And it seems like around 8 o'clock at night is typical of when this guy starts being active on his phone and on these sites.
All right. And per what you had said, Jason, if you want Johnny to sit next to you, I've got a 4-point language spend. I could maybe impersonate the local dialect when I answer the phone and maybe sound more like a native. I don't know how many language. Johnny's basically a specialist at this.
No, that's not me. Yeah, for sure.
So Johnny will like have a cot next to wherever Evan's hanging out, and basically he's an old man. He'll be sleeping until Evan wakes him up and say, "Hey, it's time. I'll answer the phone, and play the part of the booking agent, and speak local, local Greek dialect, however it is. It sounds like on the island.
I would turn my laptop screen so Johnny couldn't see it. Just like, no, go back to sleep. It's fine. It's not time yet.
All right, and sure enough, about 8:15, 8:30, this guy starts getting active on his phone, and it doesn't take very long. You can see, you probably actually have hacked the phone enough that you see like where he tries to dial in.
Yeah, and I want to
He tries to
intercept the
dial
call
into
I want to intercept the call and hand it to Johnny.
Yeah, he tries to dial into several of these different sources and whatever, and through some denial of service type malware and stuff that you give him.
My my undercover name is Kimchi, by the way.
Oh, Kimchi.
Oh, here she goes again.
He's like, is that Hello Kitty in your pocket?
The legend of Kimchi.
Yeah, so I would
to grow.
I would have a list, and it's probably written down on a post-it. But I would have a list of the numbers that correspond to the ones that he always calls that are strip places, in case he calls his mom, and Johnny gets on the phone, And so as soon as I see one of those numbers, and the other ones, what I do is I will redirect them and just make them ring and ring and ring, so he doesn't get an answer to any number until he dials one of the ones I recognize, and then I shake Johnny. Johnny, it's time.
This is Adrasto Sogati. Can I help you?
Yes, I would like to meet a woman today.
Yes, of course. And I'll ask you: are we expected to know who he is? I guess we are.
I mean, you don't know.
All right. May I ask the address of the performance?
Yes, he gives you the address. It's the same address as the
yes,
the
of
estate.
course, sir. We've heard about from the agencies. Yes, you're regular. Absolutely, we'd be more than happy to send someone right away.
You get like a pause.
Yeah, I noticed you were giving me that look. I was like, but he's like getting girls from all the agencies every week. It's got to be known on the network that he does this. I'm just trying to say that he's a VIP customer.
He's like, you track frequency.
No. The boys, they talk about the big money. You're a big money man. We want to do the best for you. VIP service all the way.
I have to leave the room because I'm laughing at him right now. I want to record this. I want to record this so I can play it back to our boss one day. To his boss.
And he says, yeah, big money, yeah. He says,
show me the money!
He says, me sent to normal place?
Yes, we will send to, I what time, sir? What time?
8:30?
8:30, absolutely. She will be there with bells on. 8:30, that address.
You have pretty Asian?
Yes, of course. I'm sorry, I thought we were talking. Yes, of course.
Oh, very, very good. Very good. Not too many Asian girls normally.
Oh, we serve all kinds here, sir.
Ready for something extra special.
Absolutely. This performer gives a performance to die for. You will not believe it. She kills it every single time. I have rarely seen an audience that wasn't stunned by her performance. You will be so pleased.
Very good, very good. Okay, me send funds now.
I look at Evan like.
I scramble back to my computer.
So this is the account. Yes. And see, have we received payment yet, Biblos?
And relatively quickly, you receive payment.
I would be holding that transaction. I would send the ACK back, or the acknowledgement that said, yeah, payment's gone through. It's fine. So he thinks he sent it, but they don't get a sudden ding in their account and go, what the hell?
All right, we'll send her with her escort at 8:30 to this address with bells on. Any special requests?
No, just usuals.
Excellent, sir. You have a lovely evening.
I plan on it.
So I'm gonna prepare myself a luggage bag full of a shotgun, a bunch of clothes, and a hidden pocket that has my katana in it. And I'll spend my MOS of preparedness to just have that.
And while we're doing that, and for that part of it, I think we should get Dr. Mitchell and Evan to, since Evan's not actually going in now, to prepare the van. Can we get it made up like it's an ambulance? And when shit breaks loose there, we'll pull up with the flashing light on. And if we need to remove anyone, we can then remove them to our hideout after drugging them. Dr. Mitchell, do you know how to anesthetize a vampire? Are you prepared to try?
Of course, I'm prepared to try. I have a few ideas.
Are you prepared to wait?
Benadryl.
Right. So we'll equip the van under the guise of an ambulance with at least 3, carry-alls, but with extra strong, super Velcro straps made of like high tensile strength material. So as to
Tesla, you're gonna get what you want. Get a sports car.
Oh my God, it's happening.
I guess, and Doctor, you'll play the doctor if that's okay, or the medic. I guess in that case, Evan, you'll be driving.
Baby.
There we go. Any other preparations for the ambulance to show up afterwards? No? All right. And I take it we've got some kind of, we didn't talk about this, do we have like a bungalow somewhere on the island, a little bit secluded, Byron? Were we able to obtain that?
Find a place.
Okay.
Yeah, we could talk to Percy. He'll sell us a place.
So,
right next door.
Lily, when and equip you and Tesla with communicators to us, so that when you're ready for us to come in for the extraction of whoever's still left alive for questioning, and that's this question whether it will be or not, you can signal us, and then we'll be in close vicinity with the ambulance. Okay? Does that sound like a plan, guys?
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
And we'll have the big crazy disco ball in the ambulance.
Yeah, exactly. We'll also we'll have crowbars and other equipment if we need it, Byron, in case we have to like somehow get the gates open. Yeah.
All right.
That quickly. All right. So we're in the ambulance, like a mile or two off, and I guess it's going to be Tesla and Lily as the stripper and pimp.
So where does Tesla get this sports car from?
Oh, I'm thinking. Let's see, where would be a good place to get a sports car?
Some rich guy's house.
Yeah, some rich guy's house.
Dealership.
Exactly.
Rich guy's house.
I bet Tesla can walk up with advice, but go ahead. I'm sorry, Tesla.
Yeah, I mean, I actually, this is Greece. I'm sure there's a bunch of really independently wealthy people.
Oh yeah.
That...
So you find this one guy, and you find some excuse to like be on his property or whatever, and maybe he's out on vacation or something like that. He's like a CEO of one of the major like medical companies in Greece, and you kind of go and you're doing like a garage door repair on his house. And you pop open his garage door, and sitting in his garage is a like 2014 McLaren.
Oh, nice. I'm just gonna. I just walk up and I just roll my hands over it. I'm like, don't worry, baby, Daddy's here. I'm gonna take good care of you.
That's the name of the episode.
I wrote it down.
Don't worry. Daddy's here.
First rescue of the evening.
That's gotta be it.
So yeah, I'm gonna jump behind that baby, and I'm gonna, and you know,
purr like a kitten.
Yeah, and I'm gonna totally come to the meeting spot in style.
Yeah, I just see Tesla just takes like an extra 20 minutes, just like rubbing his hand over all the curves.
It's like,
Absolutely.
Boom, boom.
As the camera just slows down and like pans in on the McLaren.
Is this what I look like when I kill people? That happy?
You drool less.
And then I could see like all you see is like the McLaren, and you see like the camera shows like Lily in like a really short skirt, and then all you hear is like the music from Tokyo Drift.
I just like kind of like do a double take, and I'm like, whoa, when I see Lily. Like, whoa.
Pick up your jaw.
All right. So 8:30. So just to review this whole thing.
Yeah, you shake the dust off your members only jacket that you keep.
So just to review, Johnny, we're once Lily gets in, I'm gonna stay on the outside, or am I gonna try to go in there with her?
Oh well,
You're supposed to go in with me.
I don't know if they're gonna let. Well, I guess it would be normal. I just to be like translating and that sort of thing. So
yeah.
Do you speak whatever language they're speaking? You speak Japanese, but
do I speak Greek?
Is that what language they were speaking on the phone? Are they Russian or what? Like, who knows these days?
Yeah, what is
the guy had a strong German accent.
Yeah, I think it was the dude.
Yeah, but he was speaking English, right?
Yeah, he was.
He was.
So, all right. So that it shouldn't be a problem.
Worst comes to worst, I speak Greek and like 10 other languages, so I should be able to understand them.
All right. So yeah, you drive the McLaren up the hilly side. The camera kind of pans out as you see the car kind of weaving up the hills of Santorini, and you pull up to the main gate, and this guy comes up to the main gate, and he's in like a little booth or whatever, and he like punches the little button, and he says, hello.
Yes, I have we have an engagement this evening at 8:30.
No, I'm sorry, nothing here.
I have there's a female engagement this evening. I'm here to drop her off.
I shouldn't show nothing on the logs. You know who you spoke to.
Oh, all right, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, what the fuck am I doing wrong here? It's like, all right. We spoke to a gentleman with a German accent.
He says, yeah.
Who paid specifically for an engagement this evening.
He says, please hold. And you see,
like,
you can see him in the booth. He's like picks up a telephone, and he hangs up the telephone. He goes, hello, you're still there?
Yes.
He literally see you sitting there, and he's like, yes, I'm sorry. You go to side entrance?
Of course. How rude of me. So I'm going to go to side entrance.
All right. So you go, like, you back up and you drive around, and like you kind of follow this like rock wall that has all this nice landscaping and stuff on it, and it kind of like this small like driveway kind of opens up, and you see like this kind of like house that's off from the estate. And you park there, and you know, a guy comes out, and he's wearing like a little like tuxedo. He's got a little tiny thing. He has a little Hello Kitty pin in his lapel jacket, and he says, "Oh, you come early. I love it."
All right.
And this guy's like probably like 28, 29 years old.
This can't be right. I'm going to go ahead and get out of the car, and I'm gonna let Lily out, of course, as any gentleman would. I'm going to I'm going to say to our young gentleman caller, she doesn't speak English very well.
That's okay. The language of love is all. Everyone speaks it.
So I'm gonna like
says-
speak out in a heavily Japanese accent.
leans
Good
in.
time.
He leans in and says, he leans in and says, I didn't pay for her to talk.
I just give a look to Lily and shake my head, and I'm like, of course.
I look as clueless as I can.
He says, don't worry, sweetie. I promise to be nice. And he kind of reaches out and takes your hand.
I'll follow
He kind of leads you up towards like the guest house, and you see like there are like there's a guy kind of sitting like near on one of the chairs on the porch. He's like smoking this really thin cigarette, and you can see there are two very large Doberman pinchers like kind of on the grounds over here. And you can see the road kind of leads away from the guest house and leads up to the side of the mansion house.
I'm just like, okay, so he obviously wants to take her into that guest house and bang her. So, I mean, what kind of pimp actually follows?
I mean, we're gonna have a good time. Whether he's conscious or not afterwards is not my problem.
So I mean, I guess like there's not really any appropriate way for me to follow. It looks it looks like I like Byron. It looks like I've pretty much been abandoned. They're just like,
yeah, pretty much.
I'm just gonna jump back into the car and I'm going to discreetly, like, you know, because I'm guessing I'm wired. I don't know if you're wired, Lily. Still. Are you still like wired up with your?
Probably not.
Probably not. I'm gonna be like,
because we're gonna be in a very close vicinity of each other.
right. I'm gonna be like, all right, Lily's in. I'm outside, just waiting in the car. It's like I don't think I'm gonna be able to get in because I'm pretty sure he ordered her for more than just dancing. Duh. So
did we fuck this up? He didn't order her to feed to the vampire. He ordered her for actual sexual services.
It's like I believe that he ordered her for himself.
I'm so sorry, Lily. Can she hear us right now? She's going to be pissed.
It's like I'm not.
She is.
I'm not really worried for her, but I would be more worried about him if he chooses to get too handsy.
Yeah.
But don't worry, I'm here outside, so if things get really nasty, but I'm like they got two Doberman pinchers that look rather grumpy, and a big motherfucker out there smoking a cigarette. So they do seem like they have some security. I don't think it's going to be a big issue for us, though. I just wave at the guy. I'm like, hi. Hi there, buddy.
Shit.
All right, I'm just gonna kind of follow along.
All right, so he kind of leads
you.
He kind of leads you up to the guest house, and he's like, I am so happy. He's like, all the other girls are like the same.
I just kind of smile like I don't know what he's saying.
He's like, don't worry, I won't be as rough on you as America was.
If only he has any idea what's coming.
And so he kind of like takes you into the room, and you can see he's got like rose petals in like this like little like walkway into the like dining room.
Okay.
It's like you like American TV?
I just don't respond. Like I have no idea.
He's like, come, we watch American TV. And he just kind of like, he has this big like leather couch or whatever, and he sits down and he just like turns on like some old ass like 1980s like sitcom, and he says, I don't know if you understand it, he says, but it's so good. It's like some episodes of like Hawaii Five-0.
Book 'em, Dano.
Book him down.
The same shirt Evan's wearing.
So I'm gonna start to get handsy with him. I'm gonna like feel.
He's like, whoa. No need to get so excited. He's like, it's not even the commercial break yet.
Oh, what a gentleman.
Is there
He's
like
like-
a feed of this in the van?
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. It's like, you want Fresca?
Who the fuck drinks Fresca? Kill him now. That shit's awful. Oh, he probably drinks Zima when he wants to get drunk.
If he kind of holds out a can, I'll like shake my head and like put my hand out for it.
He pours it in like a champagne glass.
I'm gonna watch his hands very carefully to make sure I'm not being drugged.
It does not seem so. So you guys are drinking Fresca out of champagne flutes while you're sitting on this couch watching these 1990s sitcoms.
Having a good old time. Lily's
And,
just like fucking annoyed.
And about like probably a good 30 minutes into the episode, he like kind of moves over a little bit and he kind of puts his arm around you. And he lays his head on your shoulder. And a couple moments later, he's like,
Sleep.
he just like goes to sleep cuddling with you.
Wait, he hired you as a date.
I just feel bad.
He might be playing with his prey. You never know.
I think he just wants a friend.
I'm gonna choke him out and put him to sleep. Not death. Not death.
Oh my
Not
God.
death. I'm not gonna kill him.
He's gonna take the long
It's like
sleep.
the
He's
deep
gonna
sleep.
take a long nap.
I thought you meant.
Episode titled "My Tinder Date from Hell."
Yeah, I thought you
So I'm
meant
gonna put him to sleep.
I thought you
Just
meant a
choke
dirt
him.
nap.
And I'm gonna start looking around the guest house.
Yeah, it looks like standardized stuff. I mean, you see, like, it looks like several
Does he
people
have any
live
like
here.
weapons on him or anything?
He does not.
What the fuck am I doing here?
Oh, she's getting so pissed.
This guy is just lonely.
Not anymore.
Is Lily having an identity crisis? She needs the mouse to run away so she can be
I'm gonna take the Hello Kitty pin.
He's gonna be upset.
I mean, it's better that than his life.
All right, you
Yeah,
take the
okay.
Hello Kitty pin. You look out the window and you can see the back of this guy that's smoking the pipe. You see the two dogs out on the porch.
Do you kiss his forehead before you leave him there?
So yeah, I'm just gonna
Leave like a lipstick mark on his pillow.
There
yeah.
you go.
Byron, were there any identifying marks on the Nazi that Lily could look at to make sure that's him?
Who said this guy was a
Guards.
Nazi?
That guy's not the Nazi.
Oh, I'm sorry, not the Nazi.
Obviously, this guy's not the
Not
Nazi.
the Nazi.
No.
Not
You never
the
know.
Nazi.
Not the Nazi.
It's
Might be
Lily's.
Nazi.
It's Lily's little schnitzel.
Yeah, I'm gonna search the rest of the guest house to see if there's anything of use here.
So these guys look well taken care of. I mean, they have. You find. Funny enough, in this guy's closet, you find all kinds of like animal costumes and stuff. They're like adult size. Yeah, no,
He's a fucking
like
furry?
like from cartoons.
He's a
Like
furry.
like American cartoons,
like mascots.
Yeah, like
not
mascots,
like furries, like mascots,
like Scooby Doo.
Very fine line.
Like
Oh,
different things like
that's
that, like
creepy.
all kinds of like American like cartoon, like Halloween costumes.
Hmm.
Evan, what do you got about that stuff?
Yeah. Well, I didn't get to make it to the convention last year because we were on assignment, but I'm a red panda. Just saying.
And yeah, you just find some basic stuff.
Basic
Nothing
stuff.
too important.
I'll go sit back down for a little bit, I guess, as I feel bad for him.
All right, yeah, the TV show comes to an end, and the guy's just he's out cold. And you choked him out.
Evan, did you make sure that number was the right number?
No, it was the right number, but what I think it is just the security people when they're not looking over him. They're ordering hookers, Johnny. We literally should get a commission for this.
We did. Look at the account. He's paid in advance.
Right.
Maybe we could radio Lily and ask her to see if there's a seller or any other. I know she already looked around.
I did that.
To be fair, all of the pieces of the puzzle did look like.
Did she lure this other guard guy into the thing and choke him out as well?
Well, lure him in like, oh, this guy went to sleep, and I want to get my, date time on or whatever you say.
I'm all paid up.
Do we think the guy might be on the boat instead of on the mansion?
I mean, we're gonna find out shortly.
No, the boat's at the marina. You would have looked into that.
I think he's playing you. I think he's just pretending to be asleep.
I mean, I put him to sleep, so he's not pretending right now.
He's
He's not really pretending.
Who all is at who all does Lily do you know about at the mansion?
The dude that's sleeping, the two dogs, and the other guy
at the gate.
And the
and
vampire.
there's a guy at the gate.
The vampire watching Netflix in the house.
And there's no sign of any belongings for the 95-year-old. There's no place.
Like a guest house, right? This is like a small house.
Yeah, this
off
is a
to
guest
the main.
house. It's like a
5-year-old.
Where you would assume.
Sorry.
Where you would assume like the security guards live.
Yeah.
So Lily, perhaps you need to make your way to the radio to the main house.
Yeah.
I look at Evan. Evan, you didn't give Lily any of that red scarlet crap, did you?
No. Oh, you kidding me?
Okay.
I never do
right.
that.
Just checking.
I don't share my stash. You know that.
All right, I'm just gonna open the door.
Excellent point.
And start shouting in Japanese at the guy that's smoking a cigar. I'm like trying to wave him over.
He pulls out the bat.
Yeah, you're like he's like smoking a cigar or whatever, and you're like waving him over. He like kind of stands up. The dogs kind of shuffle a little bit.
I would notice this too, and I'm like,
Get ready to take out the dogs.
He's like, what?
I pretend like I don't understand and like wave him. Try to get him to come over here.
He like kind of walks over to the doorway.
I'll kind of like.
You can see as he raises his hands like this. You can see he has like a German machine pistol, like a machine gun, submachine gun on his belt.
So obviously we didn't just walk in and sit on the couch. So I'm gonna try to like lead him in a little bit.
Okay.
And as soon as I'm face to face with him, I'm gonna quickly reach in and drop the mag out of his machine pistol.
Okay.
And then we're gonna start fighting.
All right.
If it gets loud, I'm just gonna pull my silence handgun and just, I guess, shoot the dogs. I hate shooting dogs. Poor dogs.
I hate shooting dogs.
Yeah,
All
but-
right. So you reach in and you pull. He's like
I
He's
just
trying to
dropped the
figure out what's
mag.
going on.
And
trying
then
to figure out what's going on.
I proceed to try to choke him out.
Okay. What's your? I'm sure your skill is probably.
My hand-to-hand is 12.
Right. I picture like Lily like doing a handstand and like trying to like act like she's doing some kind of trick for him or something like that. And then she reaches up and squeezes the mag trigger and then takes her legs and like wraps them around his neck.
That sounds cool. I'll do that.
Like choking him out.
I just wanted to remove his ability to shoot me more than once.
That's valid.
You want a hand-to-hands? A hand-to-hand?
Yeah. What's your hand-to-hand?
12.
Skill? Yeah, it's more than this. Go ahead. You're first.
I'm gonna spend 2 points. I rolled a 6, so 8.
Yeah, you make it look like you're taking him to school. He's a fighter, but like, yeah, you strike him. He does actually strike you back though. So like you get into a little contest of the fisticuffs. And he attempts to he reaches around you like this and kind of picks you up and like does like this little like German suplex and like smashes you through the glass coffee table.
Awesome.
And as you're looking up, you can see the guy like laying on the couch. He's just like, and Hawaii 5-0 is playing in the background.
Da, 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 da.
Little tiny Lily and this big guy.
Yeah. All right, you're up again.
I'm gonna sink my choke in and choke him out.
Okay. He fails horribly on his resistance roll.
I rolled a 5 without spending any, so.
All right, yeah. So in short order, you choke this big guy out. He's like
sleepy.
He's like trying to stand up, and you're like on the ottoman, and you're just like using like leverage, like just leaning back. And the like little 1980s show like breaks, and on the advertisement break is like the Richard Simmons workout tapes, and it shows him like doing like this leaning
He's doing
back,
like ab
move.
crunches.
He's doing like ab crunches.
Come on, honey. Yes.
Yeah, he's like, "Come on, girls, you could do it."
Yeah.
and Jazz, you choked this guy out. Are you killing him, or what are you doing?
Yes, I'm going to kill this guy.
Oh shit! All right, so murdered this guy.
And then I'm gonna like tear a piece of like my skirt to look like I got hurt.
It's not very. Your skirt's not very big if you tear much of it.
Yeah. I'll tear a little piece of clothing and just like,
right.
like I was leaving and got into a struggle with someone, and then I'll leave the little dude a kiss, I guess, and leave.
Nice. All right, where are you headed? Outside?
Yeah, I told them to take out the dogs.
I guess you see me like pointing a gun at the dogs, like to see if they're gonna bark. But if I see you come around the corner and you gesture for me to just take them out, I guess I would.
Right. Yeah.
I was waiting to see if I was gonna hear the guy yell. But yeah, I'll just shoot the dogs real quick.
And I apologize. I'll be right back. One second.
I can't kill the other guy. He didn't really know I was a monster of an assassin.
I think when you approach me, I'm just going to be like, what the hell's going on?
These are just security guards. They're nobody. We need to get into the main house.
it's like, should we just call in the rest of the crew at this point?
Yes.
Seems kind of screwed. All right, I'm gonna be like, okay, guys, we're basically like, I think Lily's like killed like 3 people, and I killed 2 dogs. So,
Aw.
Yeah.
We're on a clock now.
so yes, please come and join us if you care to do so.
I'll get my little bag out of the car, grab my sword, and put some sweatpants on.
Are we gonna like fake that there was a 911 call, or are we just barging in?
I mean, that's on you guys, but
I'm like, bring the van with all the stuff in there. Like, I say we just go full on. We go full aggressive.
You always want to go full aggro.
Yeah, but like we can't. But now that we've killed a bunch of things, we can't leave and be like, oh, we want to fix the fire thing.
You only killed one thing. Did you kill the dogs? Did I miss that? Did you kill the dogs?
I did
killed
shoot
the
the
dogs.
dogs. Lily just pointed and gave a sign and was like, kill the dogs, and so I shot him.
Yeah, you shot the dogs. So I'm assuming you pull up the van and everything
Shots.
to the side entrance, not the main entrance.
Yeah, we're gonna get letters from PETA.
I know. That's true.
Yeah, like you guys shot animals on the stream.
We didn't go into detail our deaths. We could.
1980s sitcoms.
I did not want to do that. It's really Tyler's fault. He made me do it.
No actual animals were harmed.
Injured.
In this episode.
Yeah, were harmed in this episode.
Yeah.
Monsters. All of this.
Oh, who posted the dogs? That's rude. The Discord chat. That makes me feel bad now. But anyway.
Oh, you dick. That's good. That's good.
That's too much. All right. And yeah, so yeah, you guys go and you get there and you see Lily is you see two dead dogs sitting on the front porch, just kind of hanging out there. The McLaren's parked in the driveway. Tesla's like just hanging out in his members only jacket on the outside of Tesla, on the outside of his car, and the main door is open, and Lily is there with part of her skirt torn.
Oh, you didn't hear me when you walked away? I'm getting guess, obviously.
No,
I said I got in my bag of clothes that I put in the McLaren,
okay.
and got my katana and put some sweatpants on.
I'll drag the dogs into the.
It's like how very frumpy of you.
So she's wearing like a sequin Hello Kitty like top with a pair of like black sweatpants.
I'll drag the dogs in the house and put them in the bathtub, just somewhere out of sight. I don't want to put them in the trash can. And the trash.
I don't picture them to be like sweatpants. I picture them to be like yoga pants.
The yoga pants. The other dude is alive in there.
No. Those sweatpants. In the 90s, they would have said "juicy" across the bottom, right?
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely.
They do.
Absolutely would have said "juicy" across the bottom.
So I left the one guy alive in there if we want to interrogate him later. Or take him with us.
You have a crush, don't you? I can tell.
I kind of feel bad for him.
Right. All right. So yeah.
That's the closest to an emotion I've ever seen you have.
So
after you sit through 40 minutes of that, you just feel bad for him.
So what you're telling me is you were there for about 40 minutes, and the entire time he never tried to do anything.
Nope.
Wow. I mean, just wow. Yeah. I mean, you'd have to be pretty. I guess he's just.
I know I'm a monster, but geez.
Yeah. All right. So. Dr. Mitchell, here is your power pack. So you just strap this on your back, and then you see this light right here. You just pull this trigger, and very, very, very bright UV light.
Okay. So do we want
to
to take this guy that's alive as a hostage and put him in the trunk of the ambulance?
Yeah, or we should sedate him and keep him.
Are we taking guards? Because okay, I don't know. Forgive me. Is the ambulance there? We're all there now, or is it just Dr.
Yes. We're all there now.
Yeah, you're all there.
I don't know that these guards will know much. I think we need to get the main
But yes, the goal is the main vigilant. But if we cannot get him, the guard will at least give us something. Hopefully.
They would know the basics of like them helping some people come and go. Maybe they could give us some of that. And they're probably more susceptible to persuasion.
So do you like drive the ambulance up to the main house, or do you just like kind of dart across the landscape and stuff like that?
I'm gonna point out if these security guys have to check in with the main house, then they're gonna know something's wrong. So we don't have time to do a big highfalutin interrogation.
I'm not talking about interrogating him now.
No, we're saving them for later. We're bundling them up into the van.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one dude's dead and the dogs are dead, so just take the other guy who.
Yeah, just take the other guy.
All right, we'll take him in.
And
put him in the van.
we'll just put his
Get Dr. Mitchell to sedate him, so he'll be really asleep. He was taking a nap. I put him to sleep. Now we're going to put him in a really deep sleep.
Now he's like
what
Michael
level
Jackson
of inception are we on for him?
He's gonna wake up and he's gonna wake up like back in the house or whatever, and it's like
there's
gonna be like
carnage around him.
He's like,
with the
I
worst
must have fell
hangover.
asleep at the commercial break. You know, like when you doze off watching TV.
All right, so I give him a shot, and as Tesla zip ties him.
All right,
Yeah,
yep, not a problem.
Let's
All right,
make
so
way
you
to the
guys kind of like
Teamwork makes the
sneak
dream
your
work.
way up to the house. Kind of sneak your way up to the house, and you walk around like are you going to the main door? Are you going around back? Like what are you?
Let's do the back door where the dude was sitting.
Yep, back door.
Well, there was no one sitting at this house.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the other house.
It's like back door. Like, is it like a pool terrace? Like, what's that?
There is,
backyard like?
a little pool terrace. The whole back of the house is like all tinted glass.
I throw on some thermals and take a look and see, are there other guards around? Like,
So you get like a strong thermal of like a almost looks like a fireplace maybe or something. It's not fire, but it's definitely something like like waist high or whatever. But it takes up like it's big. It looks like it takes up like a whole wall. It shows a relatively good like high temperature, like well over 100 degrees.
What's that thing?
And then you see like one figure. It looks almost like lengthwise like this. There's like kind of dull gray, and then there's definitely one figure looks. You're guessing seated.
I've got a couple.
There's no other guards in the house at all.
You don't see any other movement in the house.
Yeah, I look up and around. Do I see any other major heat sources or anything like that?
Nothing.
Nothing on the other
Let's just
floors.
go in.
All right, so we're gonna just breach and clear. You know, I toss a flashbang in there, and then we just start taking people out.
Wait. This is the way it happens every time. He says something like that, and we agree. We have an opportunity, Johnny, to not agree and to do something else.
Well,
Yes.
we do. I say Tesla. I show you that the doctor's prepared. You guys look at the chat, right? She prepared darts, and we have the guns, so you don't have to kill them. You can use the dart gun and the sedative to anesthetize the normals.
Johnny, you noticed something that seems really out of place.
Who does?
Johnny.
Okay.
In the architecture of the house.
Okay.
Like up near one of the eaves, you see what's known as a hawk's mews.
Hawk's Muse.
Yeah, MEWES. It's like a thing for hawks, so that they hang out there, basically.
Oh fuck! There's a bat up there. I betcha. No. Ugh.
And no, kind of the reverse. So the reason they hang those is so the hawks stay around because they catch bats.
God, I'm having deja vu.
Hang on. Let's go in.
Fuck.
Not necessarily kill everyone, but
Fuck.
I mean, he's got like big French doors across like 3 sets of French doors across the back that are all tinted.
I'm having a strange sense of deja vu. This Strange. And of course, Lily wants to go in. I think we've been here before for some reason. In this situation, anyway. All right. Does it strike me as like a practical thing, Byron, or is it more like a?
Well, it's very practical. Like very practical. Like if you don't want bats flying around your property, that keeps bats from flying around your property.
That's probably because when he's a bat, he doesn't want other bats up in his business. His bats.
Or he's against the vampires.
Or he's not necessarily against the vampires. He may be utilizing their blood and other things, but doesn't necessarily want them flying around at night. Now, not that we even know that they actually can turn into bats, right? We've never seen that, right?
No. Yeah, you've never seen that.
I'm just going off of what I saw on the cartoons, really.
The worst enemy of a vampire could very easily be a vampire, another vampire.
What's our protocol? Are we trying to keep them alive?
I pointed out to the group, but I guess we'll go in. I say, here, take these dart guns. If you see normal guards, there's no need to do them undue damage. But if you see our individual, all the gloves are off. All right, we go in.
Wait, Johnny.
Have we seen?
All right.
How do we identify normals?
The way you normally would. But
it's like when you shoot them with these fancy little dart guns, if they go down, then they're normals. If they dodge it with incredible speed, then they're not fucking normal.
That's fair.
They dodge it with incredible speed.
I'll take up the rear. It's fine. I got it.
I'm apparently kind of in front.
I'll be in front too.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Well,
are we breaking in? Are we knocking? What are we doing?
yeah, well, we're just gonna breach and clear. Let's just we'll kick open the door and then toss a flashbang in there. While they're all super stunned, we'll run in and prank them.
This is gonna get weird.
Okay.
So you pop open the French door and you toss a flashbang in there?
Sure.
All right. So Tezel's in the lead, I guess. So you pop open the door, you toss the flashbang in. Do you shut the door?
Oh, I just move off to the side.
All right, so boom, flashbang goes off. You can see the windows kind of like reverberate a bunch from the explosion, and some smoke and stuff comes billowing out.
And we go in, right? When the
pow, and then we fan out.
And the first thing you hear is really, really loud classical music.
Great. You made it play piano. Fucking hell, you made it play piano.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
And it's like Tchaikovsky's War of 1812. It's like gunshots and all kinds of things, cannons in the background, and so forth.
So Byron, when he opens a door, is the music there, or does he open the door?
As soon as he opens the door, you can hear the music.
Okay, so it's not like he threw the flashbang and that was a response. Okay.
Yeah, no. Fuck. My fault. I guess I did kind of janky explain that, but yeah, as soon as you open the door, you can hear the loud classical music. You throw the bang in, it dissipates, and you can see into the room, and it's got like a large that has like multiple TV screens that are probably like 50-60 inch TV screens, and they're showing a bunch of different information, things on like stock prices and other things of like security cameras from somewhere, and like a variety of different situations. And so you kind of poke your head in, and seated at on the couch, kind of facing the computer screens, is a very pale-skinned man, probably in his mid-30s, very, very short, cropped, like a military-grade haircut of his hair is completely blonde.
Oh. So as
You're-
we force it, like we're doing the breaching, we move in like SWAT team style.
Yeah.
He doesn't move. He's just sitting in a chair.
He doesn't move.
Oh.
Evan, do you still have your thermals on?
I'm thinking no. After that big crazy heat source thing, but I'm thinking as I'm moving in, as I'm looking at him, I think I would pull him back down and glance at him, not at the TVs.
He shows his thermal. He shows his thermal right about cumin
I just call out
level of heat.
98.6, Doctor. I think. I
Okay.
keep my
And where's the
distance.
other figure?
I look
The
around
one
for
that
the
was
other figure.
gray.
Heat. So yeah, you look at the other way. It's an aquarium. Like the entire wall is this.
It's a heated aquarium.
It's a heated saltwater aquarium, and you see these fish, like sharks and stuff, going back and forth through.
Didn't you say there was a standing figure that was gray?
Yeah, that was the long thing across the bottom you're picking out now was like the couch.
Okay.
It's like this long leather sectional that he's sitting on. It's white leather. And he kind of reaches, you see, he reaches his hand up like this, and he kind of like starts maneuvering it around like he's following the music. And then he just brings it to a halt, and the music stops.
Oh, Johnny.
And he says, there is no need for you to tear up my apartments. It's like, come, let's discuss what has brought in you here.
Johnny. I've got my laser bead is on his forehead, and I'm just.
I got my proton pack ready to light this motherfucker up, but I know Johnny likes to do the talkie, so we'll let him do the talkie.
He kind of like, you guys are like moving into the room behind him, like with, Tesla's got the like, looks like
I have my crossbow with wooden
looks like
fucking
Vinkman.
bolts.
Looks like Vinkman showing up at the hotel in Ghostbusters, and everything. He kind of stands up. He's wearing like black silk pajamas with like a little like red like roping on the sides of it, and like some gold embroidery, and he says, what is with all of these?
It's like I'd like you to do me the favor of not moving around too much. Just relax.
Were you afraid of a man with no armaments?
Yeah, pretty much. That
It's like
I'm real twitchy, so
it's like
Yes, what I say, may we? May I? And I refer to the seat. Is he seated, right?
yes. He's like,
May I?
yes. He sits down in like a black leather chair, and there's another black leather chair right next to him. There's a chessboard kind of off to the side.
I'm not going to sit necessarily that close to him if I can help it, but we need to ask you a few questions, if you wouldn't mind, about the HMS Prosper Pine. And I look at his face for some form of recognition.
He seems to understand what you're talking about.
I'll close the door and make sure that, whatever is going on in here is not visible from the outside.
But first, let me begin. There's no need for us to not move forward as friends. He says, I assume you all know who I am. If you would give me the pleasure of some introduction.
His name's Sigmund Walter. Is that right?
That's
I'm asking.
that's one of his names.
Out of character. Okay.
I mean, he's like a 35-year-old man. You're expecting like this 95-year-old dude.
Herr Walter,
Nice.
you are at least 95 years of age, correct?
Well, we are all only as young as we feel.
And he looks like the photos in the dossier from that World War II, correct?
The
I
Reinhard
rolled my eyes
Gehlen.
out loud.
He looks a lot like that. He looks a lot like the pictures in the dossier. Like he hasn't aged at all.
I call out the name Reinhard Gellen. Does that get a reaction? Does he kind of peek his ear up like?
He says, no one really calls me by that name.
But someone once did, correct?
Yes. I've been known by that name.
And so, could you fill us in, please? The Prosperpine, the ones who called you by that name. If you would not mind.
The Prosperpine is a far cry from those times.
Yes, I'm sure it's a long story. Please unburden yourself.
Sit. Let's have refreshments. And he like grabs a bottle of champagne and kind of pours a couple glasses.
Is he drinking it?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Have we seen that? Does the other vampire drink things besides blood? Did we see that?
You're not exactly sure. Elsbeth didn't have any glasses or anything, but she did actually have stuff.
Right. She had a bar, I remember.
Well, so did Dracula in the book, but he didn't eat it.
That's true. He did. He had food.
Clearly, preserving your age is one of the things by which you've been graced. We do not know all of your gifts. Nor necessarily do we need to pry it, but we need information. If you could fill us in on your role with the HMS Prosperpine and what you did under that pseudonym, that would be a good start.
He says a man of funds is never at the mercy of those who would make him that. He says, I was just a consultant.
I see. And so you had professional services. What were those as a consultant?
They wish to ask me about my experiences with programs.
You said with programs?
Programs which were run under my purview.
Right. So could you bullet point those out for us? What were you doing? What programs were you consulting on with the HMS Prosperpine? Or as, and forgive me, I forgot the name, the pseudonym?
Sigmund Walter.
Sigmund Walter, yeah.
Or Joachim Seelman, which is the name he's under now.
Right. I thought I had it written down, but I guess I didn't.
He says, yes. He says, they wish to know if they were investigating or working on these things in the nature of the methods that were used by some of my scientific compatriots, shall we say.
Scientific compatriots?
I don't know, like Mengele?
Let's not jump to conclusions. Please.
Oh.
Who were these compatriots? What were the nature of the experiments? No, you don't have to be too detailed.
Of course, the longevity of life itself.
I see.
The roots to the true race that we are descended from.
The race from which we are descended.
Well, the roots from which I am descended.
And do I take from that he means like the sort of Aryan sort of stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, definitely. This guy seems like he's he helped write the book.
I see. So they investigated research about prolonging youthfulness in scientific experiments for those of the correct genetic disposition. Is that about right?
Absolutely.
And you were one of the beneficiaries of this, clearly.
I was one of the lead scientists. In addition to being I was an overseer of the project.
I see, one of the lead scientists. And do we know his background? Was he? I mean, does it state that he was a scientist?
I mean, you knew he was a Nazi scientist, part of the
Yeah.
Was he a medical doctor or biochemist?
Biological doctor and
Okay.
physicist.
So,
Biologist.
so is the book right? Did you get him? You know, Dracula.
Right.
Oh, right. But you don't know about the book. But did you get one of them? A vampire? What did you do? Did you take their blood, their flesh? What did you do?
There are those who have special reactions to the world. Those who do not operate under the same scientific realities that we know to be true.
Are you talking about you're combining, I don't know, magic with science?
No, there's no magic necessary. This is pure science.
So the nature of your experiments involving the proserpine, they involve the use of materials from what would traditionally be known as a vampire.
I suppose some may call them that.
What do you call them?
Well,
Pardon?
I said, what do I call them?
You said some may call them that, as so I inferred that you might call them something else.
I believe our scientific name, we call them Talarians.
Talarians. What, if I may ask, was the origin of the Talarians? You consider them a separate race?
Well, I presume they are not from this planet.
Yeah, so Johnny realized
my wooden stake crossbow doesn't leave the side of his heart.
I'm like, so you're saying that Talarians, right? So there's some kind of, yeah, you believe that they're from some kind of other planet, but they have the ability to infect other people and turn them into similar things as themselves, and they look exactly like us. Sounds like bullshit to me.
There are those who have methodologies of contacting individuals that are not of this. The Fool Society is well known in its abilities, and was.
the Full Society, you said?
Thule.
Thule Society? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Phule.
It's the Nazi occult branch.
Yeah.
So you experienced this firsthand, your evidence of it. Could you explain to us what exactly was the goal of your project? Was it life, to prolong life? Was that its only goal?
Oh, several projects, to things maneuver from their initial, shall we say, sanctions to do many things.
And the materials you used, where did you obtain them? The biological materials. You are a biologist. The Talarian biological samples that you used.
There were many places in which we had obtained such things. He says, most notably, a very strong subject, one that was to be used, who offered his services directly.
Dracula?
I mean, you can call him as you wish, but he's been called that.
What name did he go by when you dealt with him, or what name did you use for him? If not Dracula.
Well, didn't really call him anything.
All right.
Yeah. Well, did you have him captured? Did you have him captured, or staying with you under duress, or cooperation?
No, you severely overestimate our abilities. Capturing him was definitely not within our means.
Our abilities.
Not initially.
Are you one of the dukes?
Oh, a duke? No. No. You'd speak of that second-rate organization. Edom, I believe, was the name of it.
The circle,
Yes.
the ring. So you do not participate in the ring. You are a separate organization, and you hold them in disdain.
Oh, I'm just a man of means. Sometimes those of power ask for my opinion. You know, like the branch of government that you used to work for, or perhaps the CIA or the BND.
Now, I
There
never
are
told.
there are those who easily pay for services of those who have access to different materials and information.
Now, I understand. You are a capitalist. It's and may I ask your association these days with the Talarians?
No, I have very little association with them.
So, having treated yourself, essentially, you have no need of them any longer?
Should I have need of them, I'm sure that I could come across one, but I believe myself self-sufficient of them.
I say, Tesla, check him for magnetism.
All right, I'm gonna reach down with my left hand and pull out the little EMF thing that I invented. I'm gonna be like, all right, let's see if this works.
I push the disco light to kind of right in front of the couch area. Like I'm probably winded. Like, oh God, got it.
And then as I'm pressing the button, I'm going to go ahead and really quickly flash him with some UV. I just want to see how he reacts. And then release the trigger.
He doesn't really react to the UV light whatsoever.
No smoke comes.
Other than like it's bright, but I mean nothing that you would assume is anything other than that. But you do see some reaction to the electromagnet.
I'm like, huh. So what have you been doing? Did he turn you into one of them, or did you?
No.
I didn't think so.
I am nothing of this sort. I am merely a creature of science and of this world.
What is the price of your continued youth?
The price of my continued years? Well, I can't say.
I think that if you're not one of them, then you die like one of us. And that young lady over there has got about 340 different really excruciating ways to help you do that. So I suggest that you be a little bit more forthcoming with your answers.
Who's this? No. What do you mistake me for? Because no good scientist would kill his lab rat.
Oh.
Motherfucker.
I'm gonna. Is there a stability roll or something? Because I may have to kill this guy. I may. I don't. Is Byron? You tell me what I should roll.
That's up to you. How you feel. You know what I mean. There's some of your background there that apparently I might not have necessarily known about. So that's kind of up to you how you react. He's being very. He's definitely coming across as, not a polite person.
Yeah,
really.
I rolled a 2. I'm gonna I'm not going to kill him, but I'm going to pistol whip him. I'm just, as he leans forward, no, and being all casual, like it's not a big deal. I'm just going to cross-check him across his head with the gun, and knowing that Johnny's probably going to reprimand me and make me do some reports or something, but still, I just...
Johnny doesn't have to. The look
file an incident report.
So you pistol whip him. You hit him just as hard as you can, and it breaks open like the side of his mouth right here, and you could see some blood kind of on his chin, but he takes it like you're hitting a stone pillar.
Oh,
like he doesn't really move.
So it like bruises my hand, like bruises, like pow, like cracks my knuckles, kind of thing, or what?
Yeah, it cracks your knuckles. Like when you hit him, he's solid, but like it definitely, you could see that it affected him. And he just kind of rubs the blood off his mouth, and he goes, "Such a waste." And he just kind of licks his fingers.
I glance over at Johnny. What kind of reaction am I getting out of him? I mean, like Evan's way up here right now. It's
yeah,
like with this.
This guy. I'm basically Johnny's basically letting Evan go at this guy to see exactly how he reacts. And this guy's basically acting as if he's dead.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and drop my stupid power pack off of my thing, off of my back, because it's fucking useless.
Well, it may not be.
I'm just gonna pull up the shotgun that I had in my side, and just point it at him.
Why all these hostilities? Why all these hostilities?
Does anybody physically stop me from fucking this guy?
I was
up?
waiting for the moment for everyone to not say they will, and I will.
Will what? Stop me?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm literally
No,
as soon as he speaks again, and I'm gonna just gonna hit him again, and it gets fuck you, lab rats, and until I'm dragged off of him.
Does the guy seem to be taking a lot of damage from this, or no?
I mean, you punch him, he's just like taking it, and he says, "I'm so angry you don't have your own face on the wheel."
I don't even know that registers with me. I'm being dragged away.
I'm just like you. I'm just like, you're such a fucking prick, and I'm just gonna put the shotgun to the side of his head and pull the trigger.
What? Hold on. No. Hold on.
Like, well, Johnny might have to spend an MOS over here.
Preparedness.
Oh,
I mean, I guess if your reflexes are fast, you can be like, and have me fire up into the air or something.
I will attempt to reassure Tesla, calm him down so he doesn't pull the trigger. Is that something you do, or is it only for against unclear?
I mean, you could try. You could. So, I mean, you have reassurance.
I do.
I mean, I'm not sure how strongly Tesla is reacting here to this situation.
He's about to blow
this guy
his
does not
off.
seem to be resisting. He does not seem to be anything other than verbally rebuttaling anything you're doing.
Yeah, this guy, he's not reacting at all to this, right? The Tesla walked up to him, put the shotgun against his head, looks like he's going to pull the trigger enough that Johnny's like, whoa, hold on.
He doesn't seem like physical harm is not something he's afraid of.
So I guess I'll pause.
He's an SS member. No, physical harm isn't going to bother.
All right. So does it look like the Tesla? Do you like stand down a bit?
I will. I'll take one step back, and I'm just like, I don't know why we're fucking around with this guy. He's making fun of us.
You guys, so touchy. You make fun of us. Like that's a thing. All right. You do not seem concerned, sir, for even what would seem to be a fatal shotgun blast to the skull. May I ask, do you just not care?
He's like, I'm a man of many years of time. He says, I have been at home with death longer than you've been alive.
So you're ready to die, is that what you're saying?
There are many things we can control in life.
Death isn't one of them.
Death is not necessarily one of them.
While they have this exchange, I am like sliding over to position myself between Evan and this guy.
He's like, while we can delay Mother Nature's end and Father Time's Reaper, we cannot always prevent it.
And it doesn't interest you at all that the Talarians, not the quote-unquote the master race, are plotting to take over the world so that your people will be subjugated?
Will they, though? Will my people be subjugated?
If you
Not
call
they're
them
all
your people.
fucking dead.
He's like, there are many races who deserve to be subjugated. Mine's not one of them.
But they will. They shall. The plot is afoot. We know of it. The one of which you speak plots now to enslave the blondest of the blue-eyes, as well as all the rest.
Ah, you are so wise, yet miss such obvious point.
Which is, sir?
He says, there are no worse enemies than us. He's like, we do more to ourselves than any creatures from another world could ever do to us. He's like, we maneuver and play these people like they are pawns in our game. It's like, but it is us who are the pawns.
It is true. I'd ask you then, since you have no care in the world, tell us then, who else partook of the experiment, is also prolonged their life? It wasn't just you, correct?
I'm sorry? What was your question?
What others have received the gifts of your experiment, the longevity, or any other gift? Who are the other participants in the experiment?
The details of my projects are available to any.
Okay, where? Do you have documents, sir? Did you keep the files?
Of course I have documents. Of course I have files.
Please show us.
Like fresh fish on a Maine shoreline. These things are for purchase.
For purchase? Sir, you
Wait,
are a
yes.
hair's breadth away from death.
You don't feel like these things are free in life.
Sir, you would be dead now if I had not slowed my man's hand a moment ago.
Then you would be no closer to the answers you seek.
Fair. All right. What is it you wish in return for the names of the others and the who were involved in the experiment, who remain alive today? Or do any besides yourself? Are you the last?
I am the only one who is alive today of the experiments that my organization partook in.
So all of those people.
There are still research to be done.
Johnny, I would say, Lily pushing me. There's some stuff going on in the chat. Lily pushing me back, and I'm kind of acquiescing because I'm scared of her and stuff. But I've got my just waiting. There's only one of them, Johnny.
The Talarians, the research. You know of the ones that exist at the time of the experiment, and now you're saying that you're the only one left from the experiment, period. Then the only value of your paperwork is maybe what we could glean from it about the Talarians themselves? Is that what you're saying?
It's about what he's saying a little bit.
You might want to at least lie a little bit.
You've got him on his heels. You've got him on his heels now. He's like, oh shit, I guess maybe you're right.
It's like surely just not cut and dry.
I look at Tesla and I raise my finger like I'm gonna say go for it.
I've been ready.
He says, there are things I can do for you cannot do for yourself.
Besides not age. Say again?
I said connections.
Connections to whom? You said you've not been active in the network for a very long time.
I said I was the only one that was still alive.
Yes, that too. But you also said that you were not active, that you had no relations with Talarian since the experiment.
Perhaps there's others that are dead, but still active.
Well, we've got friends. Oh, we've
can I
got
make a
friends,
roll
Johnny.
to see? This sounds like bullshit to me. I've got bullshit detector. Can I make spend a point in some?
Doesn't really sound like he's lying.
It does to me.
You
but
said
all right.
he said he was the only one that was still alive. That could mean the scientific alive.
So
He seems to be speaking from a scientific method.
What do you mean by that, sir?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, what do you mean by that?
Exactly what it sounds. There are some who are no longer.
It sounds like you're saying that there are more vampires in your network.
That is one way you could phrase things.
Are they vampires? How you escaped becoming a vampire yourself and just extended your age. The rest succumbed to death and became vampires. Is that correct?
That was the outcome of some, yes.
Death, but some of them still exist. Is that correct?
What a wonderful Nazi vampire fucking family running around.
Oh. I am much too busy to run.
It sounds like you might be of some use, but not yet you haven't been. Who are the others? Where is the documentation?
He said, I'm not really seeing any motivation to share these things.
So
Tesla?
Lily just mentioned she moved out of the way. I shoot him.
Are you doing the finger thing again? You just giving me the go ahead.
I shoot him. I shoot him in the kneecap.
Oh well.
I gave him the go ahead. I moved out of his way.
I mean,
shoot him in the kneecap. You can see his silk pajamas kind of ripple as the bullet enters his kneecap.
Those are nice pajamas. Sorry.
Does it look like you felt any pain?
He doesn't. He just kind of looks down at it.
I don't think you survived either, sir.
He said, please. These are futile efforts.
I look at Lily like, fuck.
I go like this to Tesla.
So I just pull the trigger like an inch from his head.
I'm dismayed by all of this.
So when he pulls the trigger, what happens? I'm curious.
Okay, so you literally just raise the shotgun to his head?
Oh, I've had it for a while, but I'm only like a couple inches from his head, so I guess I'll just shoot him in the head with a shotgun, and then once he hits the ground, I'm just gonna just keep shooting.
Well, we'll see if he hits the ground. Let's see what happens.
He's gonna keep talking with like.
Half his face is gone.
So you raise the shotgun to his head, you pull the trigger.
Oh no!
And it just the camera just slows down. It's surreal. It just pans in on your finger, and it's just slowly you see it. You see the gun react, and as it pans out, you notice his head is not in front of the barrel.
Hilarity. He's a fucking vampire.
As he moves from in front of it. And that's where we're going to end the stream.
Oh!
I was going to say.